A man's soul transmigrates to a cultivation world, but without a spiritual root, he can't cultivate. Yet, he uses a small mountain as his workout equipment every day. He passionately trained for 20,000 years. The man's name is Wu-Ling Jin. He was an overweight homebody who couldn't say no to others. And because of his appearance, he was bullied by his classmates since childhood. But this made him study even harder because he believed that after he started working, his efforts would be rewarded. However, after studying, he realized he wasn't just an overweight homebody, but also a poor student. After graduation, he could only work as a sparring partner at a fitness center due to his physique. Life seemed to have returned to square one. Only now the ones bullying him were his colleagues instead of classmates. Unable to refuse others, he worked overtime until the early hours every day. Finally, one day, he suddenly felt a sharp pain in his heart. It turned out that due to his obesity, he was at risk of sudden death. When Wu-Ling Jin opened his eyes again, he found that he had been reborn. Fast forward 20,000 years to the eastern continent. Wu-Ling Jin was being held affectionately by a young girl. Tushan Xiaoyu of the Fox Demon Clan was acting cute, saying, "Brother Ling Jin, didn't we agree to go out and explore the world together? Why are you still dawdling here?" Hearing this, Wu-Ling Jin couldn't help but sigh. "Yeah, unknowingly, I've been training here for 20,000 years, but I'm still just an ordinary person with a bit more strength. Going down the mountain will only cause you trouble." After all these years, Wu-Ling Jin was finally sure he had been reborn, and he was reborn as the young master of the demonic sect. However, the declining demonic sect couldn't protect him. To escape the pursuit of the righteous path cultivators, he could only hide and survive in the deep mountains and old forests. If it weren't for the little fox he had saved keeping him company, he might have gone mad from boredom long ago. Because of the lessons from his past life and the experience of being hunted in this one, Wu-Ling Jin had been training with self-discipline every day for a full 20,000 years. However, it was only after training for a long time that he realized he had transmigrated into a fantasy world. But he was true to his name without a spiritual root. Besides the good physique he gained from daily training, he was useless. But the body he had trained for 20,000 years was filled with power. Even a flood dragon was knocked down by a single punch. This reckless flood dragon meant Wu-Ling Jin could have meat for dinner tonight. Xiaoyu immediately praised him silently, a golden core stage flood dragon, taken out with a single punch. As expected of my brother Ling Jin. Just as Wu-Ling Jin was about to carve the meat, a loud shout interrupted him. A middle-aged man was seen standing on a flying sword, saying unhappily, "Bold thief, how dare you steal the flood dragon? I was halfway through hunting. To do something so shameless. Could you be the remnants of the demon clan?" Hearing this, Wu-Ling Jin's calm expression instantly turned to panic. He waved his hands repeatedly, denying it. He even apologized profusely. "I'm so sorry. I didn't do it on purpose." Xiao Chuanhua from Xiantian Academy saw this and muttered to himself, "A little fox demon and an ordinary person with no spiritual root at all. Looks like there's no need to waste words on them." Then, Xiao Chuanhua directly used his divine sword control technique. He prepared to eliminate the two of them, but Wu-Ling Jin caught it with great ease. Xiao Chuanhua was instantly dumbfounded, completely stunned. Meanwhile, Wu-Ling Jin suddenly bowed and apologized. "I knew you wanted to kill me, yet I still caught your flying sword. I'm so sorry." Hearing this, Xiao Chuanhua finally calmed down. "How could an ordinary person with no spiritual root possibly catch my flying sword? You must be the one helping this kid from behind. In that case, you can go to hell with this kid. Take this." However, this time, the sword technique was once again easily caught by Wu-Ling Jin. Humiliated and enraged, Xiao Chuanhua couldn't sit still. He began to frantically launch flying swords, trying to kill Wu-Ling Jin. But Wu-Ling Jin just kept twisting his body, easily catching all the flying swords. Then, he said with an apologetic look, "Sorry. I caught them all subconsciously." Xiao Chuanhua was instantly rendered speechless. After a long while, he finally got up from the ground and said flatteringly, "So you're a senior from the Righteous Alliance. This junior misunderstood earlier. Please return the flying swords to me. This junior will leave now." As soon as he finished speaking, his flying swords shot back towards him instantly. But he didn't have time to react. The flying swords, wrapped in terrifying flames, grazed past his neck. Even after being reborn, Wu-Ling Jin was still just like his past self, truly unable to refuse others. Then, Wu Lingjin shouldered the flood dragon and said, "Let's go back. I still have to cook for Dad and the others." Before leaving, Xiaoyu didn't forget to give a sinister reminder about today. "I don't want you to breathe a single word of this." Hearing this, Xiao Chunhua broke out in a cold sweat and nodded repeatedly, indicating he understood. Seeing the two finally leave his sight, Xiao Chunhua collapsed to the ground. "Just who in the world are they? But you can only be happy for now. Once I report this to that old ancestor at Xiantian Academy, I'll make sure you demonic cultivators pay." As the young master of the demon clan, the man had to enter a human academy to study. But he never expected the academy's first test to be identifying demonic cultivators. Already panicking, he was now so scared that he was trembling all over. Just a moment ago, Wu Lingjin casually tossed the flying swords and scared a nascent soul stage cultivator into wetting himself. Xiaoyu instantly went into fangirl mode. "Brother Lingjin, and you still say you're an ordinary person? You even scared a nascent soul cultivator silly." But Wu Lingjin didn't think so. "How could I possibly be a match for a cultivator? He was probably just joking with me. I know very well that I'm just an ordinary person who can't cultivate. That's why I train my body so desperately." Before long, Wu Lingjin brought the carved flood dragon meat to the front of the cave. He had just entered when a shout came from within the cave. "Don't you know this is the demon clan's territory? Who dares to enter here?" After seeing it was Wu Lingjin, the demons immediately showed pleasant surprise. They all urged him to pass the dragon meat and quickly. Wu Lingjin knew that although they looked brutal, they were actually uncles who were very good to him. But Wu Lingjin's father, Wu Di, said with dissatisfaction, "You haven't come to see me for 6 hours. Do you even have me, your father, in your eyes?" Wu Lingjin quickly explained that he was delayed because he had to hunt and cook. But Wu Di wasn't buying it. "Don't tell me you were tricked into going down the mountain by this little girl again. Listen carefully. You absolutely cannot go down the mountain. Even after being sealed for 20,000 years, I still remember the insidious and cunning nature of those righteous path people. Going out into the world with no experience like this. Are you trying to get yourself killed?" These were words he had heard for 20,000 years. It immediately made Wu Lingjin dissatisfied. He said firmly, "Even if I'm hunted down or even killed outside, I don't want to stay in these deep mountains and old forests anymore." As soon as he said this, the group of demon uncles also began to persuade him to give up the idea. "Your cultivation is only at the body tempering stage. Going out now is suicide." But Xiaoyu interrupted, "We just ran into a righteous path cultivator. He had a nascent soul stage cultivation, but Brother Lingjin still scared him into wetting himself." Woody didn't expect his son to be so strong already, but he still shouted, "You're still an ordinary person without a spiritual root. Even if you can defeat a nascent soul stage cultivator, how will you deal with even stronger ones? Don't think you're already invincible." But Wu Lingjin got angry that I have no interest in being invincible. I need to reach the tribulation transcendent stage to break this damn cage. I can't even break through the body tempering stage here. For these 20,000 years, Dad, you've been trying to protect me even while sealed. Now I'm grown up. It's my turn to protect you. Just then, Xiaoyu suddenly interrupted. Because Brother Lingjin has always been stuck at the body tempering stage, he has no demonic sect aura on him. As long as he doesn't admit it himself, people outside won't be able to discover his demonic sect identity. But Wu Di was still firmly against it. No, if Lingjin breaks through and releases his demonic sect aura, he'll be a dead man. But Wu Lingjin turned around resolutely and said, "I've made up my mind, Dad. Don't blame me." Just as Wu Lingjin was about to leave, Wu Di suddenly threw out a small token. On it was written Wu Lingjin's name, with the two characters Xiantian below it. Wu Di then spoke. "This is an entrance qualification certificate for Xiantian Academy. Since you insist on going down the mountain, this could be your first stop." Hearing this, Wu Lingjin was slightly stunned. Xiantian Academy? Isn't that the Super Cultivation Academy known as #1 on the righteous path? It's rumored that just by getting in, one can reach at least the golden core stage upon graduation. Xiaoyu felt this proposal was a bit dangerous, but Wu Di said that the most dangerous place is the safest place. Moreover, the cultivation paths within Xiantian Academy are as numerous as the stars. It's the most likely place to find a path suitable for Lingjin's cultivation. Seeing his dad agree, Wu Lingjin began to pack his bags efficiently. After packing all his fitness equipment, Wu Lingjin immediately said he would set off now. But Xiaoyu was a little puzzled. Such a rare examination qualification. How did a prisoner like you get it? But Wu Di didn't intend to answer. You don't need to know that. Right now, I can't protect Ling Jin. Going to Xiantian Academy to cultivate is the best way I can ensure he survives. As for the secret on Ling Jin, I'll leave it to you, a quasi-emperor level 9-tailed fox, to guard. Hearing this, Xiaoyu said no more and prepared to leave. But Wu Di quickly stopped her and instructed, this world has already reached the brink of collapse. The power hidden within Ling Jin must be awakened as soon as possible. There isn't much time left for you. Before long, Wu Lingjin arrived at Xiantian Academy. The academy was currently conducting its admission tests. Such a grand scene immediately made Wu Lingjin nervous. The attendant at the gate also spoke up at this moment. All prospective students must insert their admission ticket into the stone lion's mouth. It will automatically identify the authenticity of the ticket and whether there are any demonic cultivator spies among you. As soon as he finished speaking, the person at the front was the first to try, and he had no problem passing smoothly. Now Wu Lingjin started to panic. The token dad gave me isn't fake, is it? I haven't cultivated any demonic techniques. It should be fine, right? But just then, a demonic cultivator who was detected was instantly bitten by the stone lion. The attendant immediately signaled his subordinates to lock up the demonic cultivator. Then, the attendant pointed at Wu Lingjin and said, "You're next. You, with the big bundle on your back. You look the most suspicious. Hurry up and stick the ticket in." The man physically cultivated for 20,000 years, but never broke through the body tempering stage. Now, with just a casual punch, he actually blasted through the entire academy. Just now, Wu Lingjin was called out for the demonic cultivator test. As the young master of the demon clan, he quickly tried to comfort himself. Then he placed his admission ticket into the stone lion's mouth. After inspection, there was no problem with his ticket, but the stone lion's eyes suddenly glowed red, and then it viciously bit down on his hand. But then, the stone lion's head suddenly exploded. Seeing this, the attendant quickly called for people to seize Wu Lingjin. Now Wu Lingjin was completely panicked. There's no problem with the ticket. Why are you arresting me? But the attendant shouted, the stone lion only attacks automatically when it senses demonic energy. What else can you argue? Wu Lingjin cursed inwardly. The admission ticket must have been tainted with demonic energy from Dad. But just then, Xiaoyu suddenly walked out from the crowd and accused, arresting someone without getting the facts straight. That is a bit too arbitrary, isn't it? The attendant immediately blew up. Why is a member of the demon race meddling in Xiantian Academy's affairs? But Xiaoyu grabbed Wu Lingjin's arm and smiled that I am his Dao protector. The onlooker's jaws dropped. After all, only major sects have Dao protectors. And Xiaoyu spoke again. Since there's no problem with the admission ticket, then take a closer look at its origin. That token is from the legendary number 1 sect in the world, the one that was wiped out by demonic cultivators 20,000 years ago. And Brother Lingjin is now the sole successor. Because of this, is it so hard to explain some demonic energy on the admission ticket? A disciple nearby also quickly spoke up as a reminder. This kid seems to have received a legacy. The relationship between righteous cultivators and the demon race is delicate right now. It's better to handle this with caution. The attendant thought for a moment and then replied, don't let me find anything suspicious about you. Go on in. Seeing Wu Lingjin's nervous look, she quickly signaled for him to relax. Just act as you normally do and no one will suspect you. Before long, Xiantian Academy was crowded with people. The one in charge this time was the academy's instructor, Mei Yanli. He noticed that the quality of this year's new students was quite good. Even the Joyful Union sect and the Sword Control sect had sent people over. That purple-haired beauty was none other than Bai Di of the Sword Control sect. As a genius who broke through to the foundation establishment stage at the age of 11, she instantly excited the crowd. But at this moment, Bai Di felt that among the new students of Xiantian Academy, there was no one worthy of her attention. However, besides the geniuses, Mei Yanli also noticed something strange had mixed in. He concluded that this guy definitely wouldn't even pass the first test. Then, Mei Yanli leaped down from the pavilion. Then he loudly reminded everyone to focus their attention. I am Mei Yanli. I am the instructor in charge of the new student assessment. Next, I will conduct the entrance test for you. Only those who pass all the assessments are qualified to become disciples of Xiantian Academy. Wu Lingjin suddenly felt that this instructor looked a bit familiar. Mei Yanli noticed his gaze and immediately got angry. "Kid, what are you staring at this old man for?" But Wu Lingjin very honestly pointed at the wire behind him and reminded him, "Because the thread you're hanging from is a bit reflective." Mei Yanli immediately landed in front of him with a fake smile. "Good kid. I'm looking forward to your assessment results." Seeing this, Bai Di couldn't help but complain inwardly. This instructor can't even fly? He's too weak. Just then, Mei Yanli suddenly let out a fierce roar. He revealed his brawny muscles and said with a serious face, "That was just to liven up the atmosphere. Now, the test will begin for you." The crowd suddenly erupted, those strong muscles and that intimidating aura. Could this be the legendary sandbag sacred body? Although the sandbag sacred body is naturally unable to actively cultivate or even use spells, it can absorb others' attacks and capture the released spiritual energy for its own use. In other words, the owner of a sandbag sacred body is as strong as their enemy. All attacks from those at or below the same level are completely immune. Wu Lingjin didn't expect there to be such a thing, an existence that gets stronger by being hit. Do only masochists become cultivators? Mei Yanli then showed a satisfied smile. "Next, each of you will use your spiritual energy to punch me once. I will judge your strength, talent, and future potential based on your attacks. Kid, let's start with you." After coming up to him, Wu Lingjin reminded him, "Then you'd better be ready. I'm quite strong." Mei Yanli immediately laughed. "Even a soul transformation stage cultivator might not be able to hurt me. So what if a new student like you is strong?" The next second, Mei Yanli felt a long-forgotten, sharp pain in his face. Then his body, like a kite with a broken string, blasted straight through the academy's wall. He flew backwards for over 100 meters. Seeing this, the onlookers' eyes almost popped out of their sockets, and Wu Linggjin's face fell instantly. He felt that he was done for this time. The girl was originally an ordinary fox-eared girl, but she could transform into the legendary nine-tailed fox. Just now, Wu Lingjin knocked down the sandbag sacred body, which gets stronger the stronger its opponent is, with a single punch. Mei Yanli was now foaming at the mouth, unconscious. Wu Lingjin immediately turned and asked, "Does this mean I've passed the assessment?" As soon as he said this, the surrounding attendants quickly moved away from him. At this time, outside the courtyard, a giant three-tailed fox quietly arrived at the assessment grounds. After returning to her human form, Xiaoyu immediately noticed the commotion Wu Lingjin had caused. Xiaoyu smiled with great satisfaction, as expected of Brother Lingjin. He can attract everyone's attention as soon as he enters the school. At this time, the attendants were in an uproar. "Didn't you say that attacks below the soul transformation stage would have no effect on Instructor Mei?" And Bai Di's gaze towards Wu Lingjin also revealed a sense of gravity. "It seems I'm not the only one hiding my strength." Just then, the Ingenuity Pavilion's master, Huang Luhong, suddenly walked to Mei Yanli's side. Then he frowned and said, "Little fellow, the power of your punch is close to the late nascent soul stage." As soon as he finished speaking, Mei Yanli's eyes suddenly snapped open. Then he flipped over and got up directly from the ground. After coming up to Wu Lingjin, he immediately roared, "You bastard. I told you to hit my stomach, not my face. The previous test doesn't count. If you use such petty tricks again, I'll disqualify you immediately." Then, Mei Yanli used the sandbag sacred body's immovable sandbag. The fatty saw this and exclaimed, "This is the sandbag sacred body's strongest defensive move. It can convert all of one's power into defense." Mei Yanli also laughed at this moment. "This is a move I use for the final test of Tribulation Transcendent Stage cultivators. Today, even if you use all your strength, you won't be able to move me." As soon as he finished speaking, Wu Lingjin landed a heavy punch on his stomach. Mei Yanli's voice came to an abrupt halt. Seeing this, the crowd exclaimed in surprise. The immovable sandbag is truly amazing. This time, he didn't even move a single step. But Huang Luhong's face darkened as he complained inwardly. "What do you mean he didn't move a single step? He fainted while standing." He immediately took Mei Yanli away and then signaled that everyone had passed the first round. The crowd also expressed their admiration for Wu Lingjin's strength. Just then, Zhong Ma suddenly came to his side and asked, "I didn't expect there to be such a strong person in the assessment." "My name is Zhong Ma, the 108th generation successor of the Joyful Union sect. 9th Dan in Iron Mountain Lean, 4th Dan in Flower Shaking Hand. My hobby is dual cultivation. Seeing as you did pretty well just now, I'll reluctantly accept you as my brother. The fatty on the side also spoke up. Can you take us as your underlings too? I'm Tianji from the Heavenly Secret Sect. I can provide the big brothers with the most accurate intelligence. Please take care of me, bosses. Forgive my impertinence, but although I'm mainly focused on gathering intelligence, I don't have any information about you, brother. May I ask which sect you are from? Hearing this, Wu Lingen's expression changed instantly. He said nervously, I'm a rogue cultivator. Just then, Bai Di suddenly pushed through the crowd and walked towards Wu Lingjin. After arriving in front of Wu Lingjin, she immediately shouted, "What a show-off. I'll make you understand the gap between yourself and a genius." After speaking, she turned and walked away. Just then, Huang Luhong suddenly spoke up, "Everyone, don't get happy too early." Then he pressed a button on the remote in his hand. The entire ground of the trial field immediately began to shake. Then, a sealed structure rose from the ground, containing all sorts of combat puppets. They looked incredibly powerful, leaving everyone stunned in place. Then Huang Luhong spoke again. "Allow me to introduce myself. I am Huang Luhong, master of the Ingenuity Pavilion, and also the examiner for your second round of testing. The ones that have appeared on the square are all mechanical puppets made by our Ingenuity Pavilion. During the assessment, they will continuously fire hidden weapons at you. The assessment will last for the time it takes an incense stick to burn. During this period, if you withdraw, the mechanical puppets will stop attacking. The fewer times you are hit, the higher your score will be. For you useless ones who lack strength, passing by a fluke is not a good thing for you, because the hidden weapons fired by the mechanical puppets are all real. Welcome to the examinee's graveyard." As soon as he finished speaking, the giant puppets simultaneously shot out terrifying beams of light. The examinees immediately screamed and fled. The scene instantly became chaotic. However, this attack speed was completely unable to hit Wu Lingjin. Meanwhile, Huang Luhong noticed that the kid from the Joyful Union sect was performing very well. His phantom-like Iron Mountain Lean, moving at extreme speed, twisted continuously through the beams. This rapid swaying made it impossible to sneak attack his back, but then a beam of light slammed into his chest. Afterward, Huang Luhong discovered a new expert. That girl from the Sword Control sect is unexpectedly strong. Just then, a loud rumbling sound suddenly erupted from the ground. Wu Lingjin was seen slamming his fist fiercely onto the energy transport pipe buried underground. He finally breathed a sigh of relief. This way, they can't attack me. Seeing this, Huang Luhong instantly blew up. Don't misunderstand the point of the test. This round is testing your speed. The man just casually exhaled and actually blew the goddess's clothes to shreds. Just now, Wu Lingjin directly destroyed the laser shooting puppet, completely infuriating Huang Luhong. This round is a test of speed. If you destroy another puppet, you're disqualified. Hearing this, Wu Lingjin quickly said he wasn't very clear on the assessment rules. Seeing this, Bai Di complained inwardly. "No wonder Dad always says men are animals who love to show off." But Mei Yanli directly snatched the remote from Huang Luhong and said, "Don't waste words on a kid like this. Just let him feel the power of these puppets." As soon as he finished speaking, the puppet warriors instantly completed their transformation. The fatty saw this and exclaimed, "It's the you and Rome combination. This kind of mechanical puppet definitely has power exceeding the golden core stage. Does this test even want anyone to pass?" Huang Luhong also quickly tried to persuade him that aren't you going too far? Someone could get killed. But Mei Yanli sneered. "What does it matter? You don't want that arrogant kid to pass the test either, do you?" At the same time, the mechanical puppets had already made their move. They simultaneously shot several hidden weapons at Wu Lingjin. But Wu Lingjin's movements were incredibly fast, perfectly dodging them all. Although he wasn't hit once, the examinees behind him suffered. Mei Yanli was already mad at this point. "Still dodging, are you? Then let's send out a few more mechanical puppets." Under his control, Wu Lingjin was instantly surrounded by several puppets. Just as Wu Lingjin was about to strike again, Mei Yanli immediately shouted, "You brat. If you damage another puppet, we'll disqualify you immediately." Because all the mechanical puppets had surrounded Wu Lingjin, the other examinees instantly relaxed. Meanwhile, Bai Di sneered inwardly. "This is the consequence of showing off. Daddy was right. Seeing the puppets already attacking him, Wu Lingjin quickly bent down and suddenly exerted force with his feet. He leaped into the air, causing the puppets below to miss. Now, Mei Yanli and the other were instantly shocked that he's flying. How is that possible? The onlooking attendants were also dumbfounded. What realm is he at? You need to be at least at the golden core stage to fly on a sword, right? But the fatty saw through the mystery at a glance. And no, he's not using spiritual energy to fly. He's jumping entirely with the strength of his legs. And he's using the force of constantly stomping downwards to counteract gravity. I can't believe how strong his physical body is. At this point, Mei Yanli had already entered a state of frenzy. Even the strongest body has its limits. He can't stay airborne for long. Everyone, attack the position where he's going to land. Seeing this, Wu Lingjin immediately became anxious that I can't destroy the puppets. I'll lose points if I get hit. What should I do? Then he noticed Bai Di dealing with hidden weapons not far away. He immediately stepped on an incoming hidden weapon and used the momentum to rush towards Bai Di. Seeing Wu Lingjin getting closer and closer, Bai Di instantly panicked. What was he doing coming so close to me? Could this guy be the pervert daddy was talking about? Just as Bai Di subconsciously slashed away a hidden weapon, Wu Lingjin quickly hid behind her. He perfectly used Bai Di's blocking technique to dodge all the hidden weapons. Being used as a human shield, Bai Di was instantly enraged. But Wu Lingjin nimbly dodged her angry sword strike. Bai Di immediately felt the urge to kill him, but Wu Lingjin quickly turned and ran. Seeing Wu Lingjin caught between two fronts, Mei Yanli immediately laughed. Let's see you escape now. Just then, Wu Lingjin suddenly noticed the incense stick in Mei Yanli's mouth. He instantly recalled the assessment rules. Wu Lingjin immediately stopped and turned around abruptly. Then he suddenly opened his mouth and inhaled frantically. A terrifying hurricane then erupted from Wu Lingjin's mouth. The powerful wind instantly blew everyone away. Mei Yanli had no idea what Wu Lingjin was doing. After the hurricane dissipated, Mei Yanli immediately said, "Don't think you can pass the test just because you have a big mouth." But Wu Lingjin waved his hand and said, "Instructor Mei, may I interrupt for a moment? The incense for the assessment seems to have burned out." Huang Luhong was secretly alarmed upon hearing this. It was that breath just now that made the incense burn faster. What on earth is going on with this kid's body? Just then, the little fatty suddenly shouted excitedly, "That's not right. Boss Lingjin has other, deeper motives. Boss Lingjin is trying to get benefits for everyone." The extremely embarrassed Bai Di quickly turned and slipped away, leaving behind a threat that she would definitely not let Wu Lingjin off. Just then, an old, raspy voice suddenly rang out. "How many years has it been? It's really been a long time since I've met such an interesting new student." This year's new student assessment is truly full of vigor and vitality. The boy had only just shown off his strong physique, cultivated for 20,000 years. In an instant, he had the nine-tailed fox demon completely captivated, who even took the initiative to throw herself into his arms. Just moments ago, Yu Qianxing, the headmaster of Xian Tian Academy, suddenly arrived at the assessment site. But everyone thought he looked very unreliable. But Fatty, who knew what was what, said excitedly, "This is the legendary Crimson Flame Azura, Yu Qianxing. Rumor has it that Yu Qianxing, in 20,000 years, was a terrifying existence who slaughtered countless demonic cultivation masters. His decisiveness in killing shocked even the righteous path cultivators. That head of red hair was said to be dyed by the blood of demonic cultivators. Although these words sounded impressive, the crowd discovered that his signature red hair was fake. Just then, Yu Tianxing suddenly asked, "Little fellow, what's your name?" Meanwhile, Xiao Yu, who was observing from the shadows, also grew a little flustered. Why would the headmaster of Xian Tian Academy suddenly appear? And Brother Lingjin offended him right off the bat. I have to salvage the situation immediately. Subsequently, Xiao Yu sent a voice transmission to Wu Lingjin. "Brother Lingjin, can you hear my voice? You just blew off the headmaster's wig. Put it back on for him before he realizes." Meanwhile, after learning Wu Lingjin's name, Yu Tianxing spoke that I know Lingjin's actions were indeed a bit mischievous. But as a teacher, one should be magnanimous. If you were as strong as this headmaster, would there be any problem? In the end, it's just that your skills are not refined enough. Wu Lingjin immediately sensed that this was the perfect opportunity. In an instant, he picked up a red lump from the ground and slapped it on the headmaster's head. Yu Qianxing's pupils instantly shrank. How was the speed just now? If my eyesight wasn't good, I wouldn't have even noticed. But Wu Lingjin said cheerfully, Headmaster, you dropped something. It's my duty to pick it up for you. Just then, Mei Yanli's expression suddenly changed. He let out a cry of alarm. Headmaster you seem to be injured. At this, Xiao Yu instantly exploded. You should at least tell the difference between a wig and a hidden weapon before you act. Meanwhile, Mei Yanli, furious, grabbed Wu Lingjin. You bastard, how dare you attack the headmaster? But Yu Qianxing just smiled faintly. Oh, you really think a small thing like this can hurt me? This was all just this headmaster deliberately testing him. Upon hearing this, Wu Lingjin's eyes lit up. As expected of the headmaster of Xiantian Academy. He's fine even after that. And Yu Qianxing said pretentiously, a mere hidden weapon. Just pull it out and it'll be fine. But as he pulled it, a fountain instantly gushed from his head. This time, he couldn't stand at all and instantly collapsed to the ground. Mei Yanli immediately caught the headmaster and cried out, Headmaster, are you all right? Meanwhile, Huang Luhong stepped forward and announced, all who are still on the field are considered to have passed the second round. The third round, the class placement test, will begin at noon tomorrow. Then, the two of them hurriedly helped Yu Tianxing up and said anxiously the pill hall. Quickly, take the headmaster to the pill hall. After the two left, those puppet mechanisms suddenly launched another hidden weapon attack. Meanwhile, an instructor in the shadows suddenly revealed a cold smile, then secretly rejoiced, I didn't expect you to deliver yourself right to my doorstep. Before long, Wu Lingjin left the academy. To prepare for tomorrow's assessment, he trained frantically with great effort, and Xiao Yu also reminded him, the upcoming class placement is indeed crucial. Only by getting into a better class can you obtain more cultivation resources. However, balancing work and rest is also important. Let me apply some safflower wine for you to clear your meridians. After speaking, Xiao Yu ran directly towards Wu Lingjin, but she suddenly tripped and fell right into Wu Lingjin's arms. At the same time, Bai Di was walking along the roadside, fuming with frustration. The mere thought of Wu Lingjin made her secretly angry. That bastard. I will definitely make you pay the price. Just then, a shout from not far away suddenly caught her attention. Curiously, she walked into the house and stared intently. Upon seeing the terrifying silhouette on the window, her expression immediately changed. What is Wu Lingjin doing in the room? Many people ask me where to watch the continuation of Wu Lingjin. I'll explain it here. First, click the link in the bottom left corner of the video. Download the Bada app. Enjoy a vast amount of manga. Then, click on the manga category. In the search bar, type physical cultivation for 20,000 years. This way, you can see the follow-up content. Those who like my commentary can wait patiently. I will continue to update. Let's go, buddies. This fox-eared girl was accidentally drenched to the bone with safflower wine, but she asked the boy to change her clothes for her. Just moments ago, Bai Di accidentally discovered a tragedy in Wu Lingjin's room. She couldn't help but deny it to herself, and oh, Wu Lingjin just arrived at Xiantian Academy. How could he possibly murder someone in his room? I must have woken up too abruptly. I'll calm down and take another careful look. But the evidence was conclusive. At the same time, Wu Lingjin was vigorously jumping with a 3,000 gene black iron rope, and Xiao Yu said with some regret, it's a pity I spilled the safflower wine for treating external injuries. I should wipe up the wine first. But just then, Xiao Yu accidentally slipped, and Bai Di had already approached the window, preparing to rescue the girl inside first. Then, with a bang, Xiao Yu fell against the window. This time, Bai Di was completely terrified. She felt it was already too late to save anyone. Meanwhile, seeing Xiao Yu fall, Wu Lingjin hurried forward to ask if she was okay. But Xiao Yu wasn't injured. It was just that her clothes were stained by the safflower wine. This wet scene made Wu Lingjin blush. He then quickly turned around to help Xiao Yu find a change of clothes. But just then, Bai Di burst into the room and shouted, "You murderous maniac! Surrender now!" Wu Lingjin, who was about to hand the clothes to Xiao Yu, was instantly stunned. Bai Di was completely dumbfounded. You didn't even spare a fox spirit. And Wu Lingjin was also flustered. Could she have already discovered my demonic sect identity? At this point, Bai Di had no intention of wasting words with Wu Lingjin. She raised her hand and used the Lingxiao sword art to attack Wu Lingjin. However, sword chi of this level couldn't hurt Wu Lingjin at all. Bai Di was instantly shocked by Wu Lingjin's speed, but she gathered her sword chi again and unleashed her strongest sword strike. But Wu Lingjin raised a fist and punched right through the sword chi. This time, Bai Di was completely dumbfounded. He shattered my sword chi with his physical body. Then, Wu Linggen's figure flashed, appearing behind her. He then raised his hand and struck her on the nape of the neck with a hand chop. Bai Di instantly lost consciousness and fell directly to the ground. Wu Linggen said with a flustered look, "I'm sorry. My identity really cannot be exposed. I had no other choice." Meanwhile, Xiaoyu looked shocked. He even used that move. The so-called memory-erasing hand chop is to infuse power into the palm and, through the attack, directly apply that power to the enemy's brain, ultimately achieving the effect of affecting another's memory, commonly known as knocking someone stupid. Now, while she's unconscious, let's hurry and send her back. It'll be troublesome if someone finds out. Wu Lingjin quickly got dressed, helped Bai Di up, and, seeing that no one was around, quickly dashed with her through the night. After walking around for a bit, Wu Lingjin finally found the general vicinity of Bai Di's residence. Just then, Bai Di suddenly regained consciousness. What happened to me? Wu Lingjin subconsciously raised his hand for another hand chop. Seeing Bai Di fall unconscious again, he finally breathed a sigh of relief. But he encountered a new problem. He had no idea which room this woman lived in, and this scene happened to be seen by the passing fatty. He was secretly shocked. What is the relationship between Boss Ling Jin and Bai Di? This son of destiny who transmigrated didn't expect to find a great beauty in his room. Just moments ago, Wu Ling Jin wanted to take Bai Di back to her room, but he didn't know which room was hers. So Wu Ling Jin randomly found an empty room and placed her on the bed. He felt this room was empty, so he figured she must live here. And the unconscious Bai Di slowly woke up at this moment. Wu Lingjin subconsciously gave her another memory-erasing hand chop. Wu Lingjin was very sorry about this, but he really couldn't expose his identity. However, he was also worried if this would mess up Bai Di's memory. But it was better than being discovered and having his whole family wiped out. Then, Wu Lingjin noticed that this room was very messy. He then saw footprints left on the floor. So he quickly picked up a mop. I can't leave any traces at the scene. He decided to just clean up the room. At the same time, inside a pavilion in Xiantian Academy, a young man suddenly spoke. "Since you're here, stop hiding." From the bottom of a nearby pool, someone immediately shot out, "A.S. expected of the prodigy of our Shao family's younger generation. You even discovered this." Xiao Huahua said irritably, "Nothing can escape my discerning eyes." Xiao Chuanhua immediately spoke up that I won't waste any more words. "I actually called you over to ask for your help in getting rid of a new student. As long as you help me, I will fully support you when you run for the next family head." You've met that person too. It's that Wu Lingjin. Upon hearing this, Xiao Huahua immediately smiled. "Oh, it's that arrogant kid." Xiao Chuanhua immediately spoke again that I will rig the drawing process. You just need to accidentally kill him during the assessment. Xiao Huahua agreed readily that, no problem. "But don't forget your promise to me." But Xiao Chuanhua spoke again that there's one more thing I need your help with. My foot is entangled by a green water flood dragon. Can you save me first? Seeing this, Xiao Huahua secretly complained to himself. How on earth did a person like this become a Xiao family elder and an instructor at Xiantian Academy? The next second, Xiao Huahua suddenly rushed out at high speed. As several sword lights slashed down, the green water flood dragon was instantly cut into several pieces. After Xiao Chunhua left, a soul suddenly floated out of Xiao Huahua's ring. That Wu Lingjin is not as simple as you think. The power he showed today is something even I would have difficulty achieving in my prime. It won't be so easy for you to defeat him. But Xiao Huahua laughed. There is no one in this world who could defeat me, because I, Xiao Huahua, am a bona fide transmigrator. It turns out he was originally just an ordinary student on Blue Star. Due to an accident, he transmigrated to this cultivation world, and he became an inconspicuous, useless young master of the Shao family. However, in an accident, he obtained a ring containing Elder Dan. From then on, his path of counterattack began. Immediately, Xiao Huahua said with a confident face, "With a protagonist template like mine, even the strongest opponent is just a stepping stone on my path to advancement." After speaking, he let out a cold sneer. "Although I have no grudge against you, being killed by me is your final fate as a supporting character." At the same time, Wu Lingjin had already cleaned the entire room, so he closed the door and returned to his own residence. But not long after he left, Xiao Huahua suddenly arrived at the door. Looking at the brand new room, he was instantly shocked. What's going on? Then he noticed the beautiful figure lying on the bed. Xiao Huahua hurried to the bedside for a closer look. This time, he completely lost his composure. Why is there a female cultivator in my room? The Xiantian Academy combat assessment is finally about to begin. Yet he frantically trained his body to alleviate his nervousness. Just moments ago, after returning to his room, Xiao Huahua was surprised to find a girl there. He immediately blushed and grew secretly excited. Isn't this Bai Di from Sword Control Peak? As expected of the dream goddess of the younger generation. Even her sleeping face is so beautiful. Wait, no, this is not the time to be infatuated. A girl came to help me clean my room in the middle of the night. And she's even lying on the bed I've slept in. Then there's only one conclusion. She must like me. In my previous life, I read a lot of manga. A protagonist like me is bound to have a female lead throw herself at him. Could Bai Di be my destined female lead? Speaking of which, why hasn't Bai Di woken up after so long? Only then did Elder Dan explain, this girl's divine sense seems to be somewhat damaged. That's why she can't wake up. Upon hearing this, Xiao Huahua was immediately moved. Bai Di actually expended so much effort just to clean my room. But it's a good thing I've learned a lot of first aid measures before. After speaking, Xiao Huahua suddenly squatted down by the bed. Then he slowly leaned towards Bai Di's mouth. Bai Di, who had just woken up, saw this scene and her pupils rapidly dilated. Then, a loud slap echoed throughout the area. Bai Di shouted dangri di pervert. Don't let me see you again. And Xiao Huahua was very confused by this. She's clearly interested in me too. Why would she strike me? I get it. The women of this world are naturally conservative. Was giving her mouth-to-mouth resuscitation right away too stimulating? But Elder Dan said irritably, why do you think Bai Di must like you? And didn't just walk into the wrong room? But Xiao Huahua said with a confident face, because I am a natural-born protagonist. At this moment, Bai Di was very confused as to why she was on someone else's bed. I remember I was clearly confronting Wu Ling Jin, right? That's right, I remember now. Wu Ling Jin seems to be cultivating using corpses. He must be a demonic cultivator. I can't believe I unintentionally discovered such a big secret. Thinking about it, that person in the room just now is probably in league with Wu Ling Jin. How dare you bold thieves infiltrate my Xiantian Academy? I will definitely find evidence that you're a demonic cultivator. Immediately, Bai Di roared at the sky. Wu Ling Jin, you just wait. Early the next morning, the martial stage of Xiantian Academy was already bustling with people. The examinees were all wondering why the assessment hadn't started yet, and Wu Ling Jin was frantically training to ease his nervousness. Seeing this, Xiao Yu hurried forward to persuade him not to be so nervous. With his strength, he could definitely get into an advanced class. But Bai Di said with a resentful face, that detestable Wu Ling Jin still putting on an act here. The onlookers immediately became curious about the relationship between Bai Di and Wu Ling Jin. But Fatty laughed slyly. It seems none of you know the inside story. The relationship between Bai Di and Boss Ling Jin is deeper than you can imagine. Just as Fatty was getting into his story, a long sword was suddenly placed against his neck. Then came Xiao Huahua's voice, filled with killing intent, not slander Bai Di. After speaking, he paid no more attention to Fatty and turned to leave. Seeing this, the crowd was immediately puzzled. Why did this person suddenly get angry? Could he be Miss Bai Di's simp? And Elder Dan was also very confused. But Xiao Huahua said firmly, Bai Di is my chosen female lead. How could she possibly have a relationship with a random passerby? Just then, the headmaster arrived on the martial stage with two instructors, announcing the start of the third assessment. Mei Yanli immediately spoke. In this arena assessment, life and death do not matter. The purpose is to test your performance in actual combat. And based on your performance in the arena matches, you will be assigned to suitable classes. And Headmaster Yu Tianxing will personally review the assessment process. The third round is a combat test. All examinees can now draw their match numbers. As soon as the words fell, the examinees began to line up to draw their numbers. Just as Wu Ling Jin was about to reach into the box, Xiao Chuanhua, hiding in the shadows, immediately revealed a smile. Then he threw the flying sword in his hand. Then, Wu Ling Jin found an extra piece of paper in his hand. On it was written the large number 38. The boy who had practiced with spirit energy balls for 2.5 years was finally going to make his move. Even when facing the number 1 beauty of the sword control sect, he still chose to be ruthless. Just moments ago, Xiao Chunhui used his own life-bound flying sword as a medium to covertly fling the assessment number into Wu Lingen's hand. Xiao Huahua couldn't help but ask doubtfully, "Are you really okay with your life-bound flying sword shattering?" But Xiao Chunhui casually stated that he was fine. But Xiao Huahua asked doubtfully, "I don't seem to be in the same group as that kid. You didn't mess up, did you?" But Xiao Chunhui said pretentiously, "This is where you're mistaken. I don't know what cultivation technique that kid practices, but he does have some strength. I didn't put you in a group with him in the first round. It was to deliberately find someone to test his depth." At the same time, a burly man came up behind Wu Lingjin. "Are you the one fighting me? A weakling who hasn't even entered the qi refining stage. I think you should just surrender directly." Seeing this, Fatty suddenly exclaimed in shock, "I didn't expect Boss Lingen's first opponent to be him." This person's name is Wang Taizhu. He is a famous assassin in the martial world. Rumor has it that no one who has seen him make a move can leave standing. Such a strong expert. I wonder if Boss Ling Jin can handle him. And Wang Taizhu sneered condescendingly. "I saw your performance in the first 2 rounds of the assessment. You're just trash who was born with a bit of strength. Right now, I am at the peak of qi refining, 1 step away from foundation establishment. Once we're on the stage, I'm afraid I'll kill you with 1 blow." Seeing this, Xiaoyu was about to get angry, but Wu Lingjin stopped her. Wang Taizhu immediately snorted coldly. "What? You don't want to have a go with me right now, do you?" But Wu Lingjin scratched his head and said, "Honestly, sorry, my spiritual root is indeed too poor. However, even if I am weak, I have reasons why I must continue to fight." Upon hearing this, Wang Taizhu immediately snorted coldly. "Then just wait to be killed by me on the stage." And Xiaoyu had an infatuated look on her face. "Brother Lingjin, what you just said was so cool." A moment later, Wang Taizhu walked near Xiao Chunhua and the other. As he passed by Xiao Chunhua, he immediately said in a low voice, "Don't forget, if I really kill that kid, you have to arrange for me to be in an advanced class at Xiantian Academy." Seeing Xiao Chunhua nod, Wang Taizhu left with peace of mind. Seeing this, Xiao Huahua couldn't help but frown slightly. "I hope that Wu Lingjin doesn't get killed in the first round." Before long, the drawing of lots was over. The first group match begins. Contestant number 1, Bai Di, was the first to walk onto the martial stage. Her opponent is Zhong Ma from the Hehuan sect. As soon as Zhong Ma got on stage, he decisively proposed a dual cultivation invitation. Below the stage, Xiao Huahua immediately sneered. "How dare he hit on my woman? I'll remember the name Zhong Ma." Soon, the headmaster announced the official start of the match, and Zhong Ma let out a confident laugh. "It seems I can only conquer you by showing my true abilities. Phantom Iron Mountain Leanings, Shadow Stream clone." Seeing this, Fatty immediately exclaimed in shock. He actually creates clones that are hard to distinguish by shaking rapidly. The martial arts of the Hehuan sect are truly impressive. And on the stage, Zhong Ma also smiled that "If you can't distinguish my real body, you'll never be able to defeat me." But Bai Di just glanced briefly at the soles of Zhong Ma's feet and discovered which one was the real body. Immediately, Bai Di gave him a descendant-ending kick. Zhong Ma was immediately enraged. "To sneak attack there. How despicable." However, this isn't the first or second time I've harassed someone. I was long prepared for this move. Since you won't accept my good intentions, then don't blame me for being ruthless. After speaking, Zhong Ma charged out with a hand-rubbed spirit energy ball. But Bai Di's speed was very fast, and Zhong Ma couldn't even touch the corner of her clothes. Wu Lingjin couldn't help but ask curiously, wouldn't it be more convenient for him to just throw the spirit energy ball? Fatty immediately began to share his knowledge. The higher a cultivator's level, the more and farther they can release their spirit energy. For cultivators like us, at the qi refining and foundation establishment stages, being able to condense spirit energy outside the body is already quite good. Hearing this, Wu Lingjin immediately realized that Xiaoyu and his old man were indeed very strong. At the same time, after a series of dodges, Bai Di impatiently punched the spirit energy ball away, but Zhong Ma suddenly pulled back. Then, at the moment the spirit energy ball fell, he punched the energy ball. This youthful-looking, buxom girl had just made her debut, and she already made the boy exclaim in admiration at how big she was. Even a nine-tailed fox felt a lot of pressure. Just moments ago, Zhongma punched the spirit energy ball towards Bai Di. However, Bai Di still managed to dodge it at the critical moment. But Zhongma twisted frantically to control the spirit energy ball. Seeing this, Fatty immediately explained, "This is a unique secret technique of the He Huan sect. It can use a small amount of spirit energy to form threads, to control a large amount of spirit energy released outside the body for an attack." Seeing that she couldn't shake off that annoying spirit energy ball, Bai Di could no longer hold back. She directly drew the sword from her waist. With a few flashes of sword light, the spirit energy ball was instantly split apart. And at this moment, the crotch of Zhong Ma's pants suddenly split open. He quickly covered his lower body and knelt on the ground. "That I didn't expect you to break my spirit energy ball attack so easily." After speaking, Zhong Ma fell face first to the ground from the pain. Seeing this, Wu Lingjin secretly roared in his mind. What on earth were you using to control it? After the referee announced the result, Bai Di turned and left the stage cleanly. Wu Lingjin didn't expect the battles between cultivators to be like this. Just then, a girl holding a large chicken leg suddenly squeezed out of the crowd. Then the girl suddenly spoke. "Is that Miss Bai Di?" As expected of the #1 female cultivator of the younger generation. "I wish I could be that strong too." After glancing at the girl, Wu Lingjin couldn't help but exclaim, "So big." As soon as these words were spoken, Xiaoyu also suddenly noticed the girl's figure. She immediately muttered to herself, "So Brother Lingjin likes them big?" And the girl also noticed Wu Lingjin's burning gaze. She immediately walked to Wu Lingjin's side and asked, "You look quite hungry. Want some?" Although Wu Lingjin said he was embarrassed, he couldn't help but accept the large chicken leg. Seeing this, Xiaoyu felt the pressure suddenly increase. "I don't even understand Brother Lingjin as well as an outsider." After taking a few bites of the meat, Wu Lingjin came to his senses. "Oh right, I haven't asked for your name yet." The girl immediately introduced herself with a grin. "That my name is Murong Chan. I was a student who entered Xiantian Academy last year." Xiaoyu was immediately a little surprised. "Then aren't you a senior? Are you here to watch the new students competition?" Murong Chan said, "Not without some embarrassment. I was actually held back because my grades were too poor. That's why I'm here to participate in the third-class placement assessment. If my results in this assessment aren't good, I might be directly expelled from the academy." Meanwhile, Fatty at the side obviously knew of Murong Chan's fame. He suddenly spoke. "Senior sister Murong comes from the famous pill refining family. Her family members are highly respected throughout the entire 9 provinces. And senior sister Murong has even pioneered a path of turning pill refining into food based on alchemy. Simply put, it's refining the materials needed for pills into delicious food without affecting the consumption effect." Upon hearing this, Wu Lingjin's expression changed. "Doesn't that mean the meat I just ate was a spirit pill?" Immediately, Wu Lingjin quickly apologized. "I thought it was just ordinary meat. It was shameless of me to eat your meat like that. I'm really sorry." But Murong Chan said without minding at all, "It's fine. I can't stand to see anyone go hungry." Wu Lingjin was instantly captivated by Murong Chan. He felt that Murong Chan was simply like an angel descended to earth. At the same time, Bai Di had already walked down from the martial stage, and Murong Chan hurried forward and pleaded, "Miss Bai Di, I've always admired you. Can you give me an autograph?" Although Murong Chan's face was sincere and earnest, Bai Di directly ignored her. "An autograph won't be necessary, and I must remind you to be careful when making friends." Then Bai Di pointed at Wu Lingjin and said angrily, "What you did to me last night, I will definitely find out the truth." The surrounding small fries, seeing this, immediately began to discuss. This Wu Lingjin really seems to have a relationship with the great Miss Bai. Could their relationship really be deep? And Murong Chan couldn't help but ask excitedly, "Are you really close with Bai Di? Please, you must introduce us. I really want to become as strong as her." At the same time, after the referee called Murong Chan's name several times, he found that no one came on stage. He immediately spoke to Murong Chan angrily. "Didn't you hear me calling you? Hurry up and get on stage to prepare for the match." As soon as these words were spoken, Murong Chan quickly ran towards the martial stage, and Xiaoyu, with ulterior motives, advised, "This Murong Chan seems strange. Brother Lingjin, you should interact with her less." But Wu Lingjin felt that a person who could care so much for a stranger couldn't possibly be a bad person. And after Murong Chan arrived on the martial stage, The referee immediately warned, "This is your last chance for a makeup exam." And Murong-chan also understood that she had to win this time. Only then could she stay at the academy and repeat the year. She absolutely could not go back to that place. Afterwards, Murong-chan's opponent also walked onto the martial stage. Her opponent was none other than contestant number 16, Xiao Huahua. To secure victory, the girl actually activated a clothes-bursting mode. Even Xiao Huahua, who had the protagonist template, was knocked down by her punch. Just now, the combat assessment competition of Xiantian Academy had finally begun. Headmaster Yu Qianxing didn't expect the girl from the Murong family to be mixed in with the new student's placement test. But Huang Luhong explained irritably. She had failed almost all her assessments. Even the alchemy test, which she was good at, was a complete mess. The only option was to have her held back to repeat the year. If she still couldn't win a single match in the placement test, they would have to consider expelling her and sending her home. And little Fatty felt that Senior Murong's chances in this match were slim. Although she could refine powerful medicinal food, she herself had no combat skills. Before long, the match officially began, and Murong-chan, in order to win, launched the first attack. Xiao Huahua, however, didn't take her seriously. Based on his experience from watching countless shows, he felt he would definitely win with overwhelming dominance. After the battle, the girl would be impressed by his strength and throw herself into his arms, becoming one of the members of his harem. However, just as his mind was wandering, Murong-chan had already rushed in front of him. Then, she mercilessly slammed a fierce punch into his face. The crowd below didn't expect Xiao Huahua to just stand there and get hit. Wu Lingjin, however, guessed he might have been thinking of something happy. But Xiao Huahua was still very confident. He didn't think he would lose. But Murong-chan paid him no mind, decisively throwing another punch, ready to beat a dog in the water. But the same move was clearly useless against Xiao Huahua. Xiao Huahua casually threw Murong-chan away. But Murong-chan somersaulted in the air and landed steadily. Then, with a cold snort, she charged at Xiao Huahua again. But Xiao Huahua dodged while laughing. "Give up. Ordinary punches and kicks will never hit me in this lifetime." The continuous attacks soon left Murong-chan panting from exhaustion. But in order to win, she directly took out 2 large chicken legs. Then she stuffed them all in her mouth in one go. Fatty immediately understood that Murong-chan was using spiritual energy food to forcibly boost her combat power. But this kind of food was basically a real pill. Eating so much at once could very well cause her body to explode and die. Sure enough, after Murong-chan swallowed the chicken legs, her body immediately erupted with a powerful airflow. But Murong-chan herself was fine. It was just that a few large holes were torn in her clothes. At this, the male audience below instantly went into nosebleed mode. Even Xiao Huahua was no exception, but he still calmly replied, "Even if you cram at the last minute, you can't possibly defeat me." But Murong-chan had no intention of giving up just like that. Without wasting words, she suddenly erupted with immense power and charged out again. Although Xiao Huahua dodged the attack in time, the ground was shattered by her punch. Now Xiao Huahua also knew he couldn't keep playing around. The power Murong-chan was displaying was definitely beyond the chi refining stage. After adjusting her stance, Murong-chan gathered her strength for another punch. But Xiao Huahua finally got serious. He directly threw out his weapon. Just as Murong-chan's fist was about to land, Xiao Huahua blocked it in time with that long ruler. But now, Murong-chan's power had surged. The immense force instantly sent Xiao Huahua flying. Seeing Wu Lingen's look of admiration, Xiao Yu immediately interrupted. She's just forcibly stimulated her own power limit. And at this intensity of combat, she can't last for a quarter of an hour. Sure enough, Murong-chan was already panting with exhaustion. She didn't know if she had won yet. Just then, Xiao Huahua's voice suddenly came from the smoke. "I never thought that I, a dignified protagonist, will be pushed to this extent by a native girl. It seems I need to show you my true strength." The girl's clothes were burned away by the shameless Xiao Huahua. But unexpectedly, she erupted with even greater combat power. Just now, the annoyed Xiao Huahua declared he was about to show his true strength. This time, he would not hold back. He was seen running around Murong-chan at an extremely fast speed, so fast that infinite afterimages appeared. Taking advantage of Murong-chan's momentary distraction, he decisively leaped up. Seeing this, Wu Lingjin quickly shouted, watch out above. Hearing the shout, Morong-chan immediately looked up. After spotting the attack, she quickly leaped back, barely dodging it. Seeing Morong-chan quickly creating distance, Xiao Huahua directly summoned a fire lotus and snorted coldly. Don't even think about escaping. The next second, he fiercely threw the green heart fire lotus in his hand, smashing it towards Morong-chan. The fire lotus exploded violently the moment it touched her. The terrifying flames immediately burned her, making her cry out in pain. However, this fire lotus didn't cause her much harm. It only tore a few holes in her clothes. Seeing this, Yu Qianxing and the other person couldn't help but exclaim that I didn't expect this young man to possess the green lotus abnormal fire. It seems there's no suspense left in this match. And Xiao Huahua couldn't help but let out a cold laugh. What? Still not surrendering? But Morong-chan didn't speak. Instead, she took out a bottle from her person and chugged it down. The moment she finished drinking, immense power surged from within her body. Then, with a stomp of her foot, she charged at Xiao Huahua again. This time, Morong-chan's strength and speed were greatly enhanced. The previously dominant Xiao Huahua was immediately forced into a situation where he could only passively parry. Seeing this, Wu Lingjin couldn't help but ask in confusion. Senior Morong's aura suddenly became stronger. Did she have a breakthrough? But Xiao Yu said irritably, how is that possible? She already used medicinal pills to stimulate her body's potential before. Now she's forcibly breaking through her limits with pills. Right now, she is completely burning her life force. At this moment, Morong-chan had fallen into a frenzied state. There was only one belief in her heart, and that was that she could not lose. And Xiao Huahua, being suppressed, was also getting annoyed. He immediately activated the green lotus abnormal fire again, causing it to explode with him at the center. Caught off guard, Morong-chan was instantly sent flying by the explosion, and Xiao Huahua took the opportunity to quickly grab his giant ruler, preparing to attack again. Seeing this, Yu Qianxing hurriedly urged, someone's going to die. What are you standing there for? Go and stop the match. But it was already too late. Xiao Huahua had already unleashed the green lotus cyclone. The referee saw this and quickly shouted, stop. The match ends here. But it was too late. There was no time to stop it. And Morong-chan, in midair, had no way to dodge this ruler strike. She couldn't help but recall the memory of being scolded by her father. It was only because the food she cooked was not appreciated by her family. It was even considered a heretical path that would only damage the family's reputation. That was why she was sent to Xian Tian Academy by her family. So from that day on, Morong-chan swore to prove that the food she made was no worse than medicinal pills. But she never expected that in the end, she still couldn't change anything. However, just as she closed her eyes to await death, a finger suddenly pressed against the giant ruler, easily stopping the blow. Then, Wu Lingjin spoke. Senior Morong is a good person. You can't hurt her. But Xiao Huahua found that he actually couldn't retract the ruler. Immediately, Xiao Huahua became furious that you've got some nerve, kid. And the referee also rushed onto the stage at this moment. The match is over. Both of you get off the stage. The winner of this match is you, Xiao Huahua. Hearing this, Xiao Huahua finally turned and left in satisfaction. Then, he slowly retracted the giant ruler. He spoke again, you'd better win the next match. Otherwise, I won't be able to deal with you myself. Hearing this, Wu Lingjin immediately nodded and said, I will work hard to pass the first round of tests. Just then, Morong-chan suddenly let out a violent cough. Wu Lingjin quickly reached out in concern. Senior Morong, are you alright? Morong-chan said with some regret, it's a pity that I fought with my life on the line and still couldn't win a single round. After speaking, she began to cough violently. Just as everyone thought she was seriously injured and was about to look for medicine, she said she was fine. She had just eaten too much, so she just threw up. The boy ran into trouble in his first combat match. But unexpectedly, he just touched the opponent with his fist and the match ended by accident. Just now, Morong-chan narrowly lost to Xiao Huahua. Wu Lingjin immediately went on stage to take her to the rest area. But the referee said it was his turn for the next match, and his opponent was the famous Wang Taizhu. So Wu Lingjin had to ask Xiao Yu to take Morong-chan off the stage first. Soon, both sides were on the arena. The match officially began. But Wang Taizhu said very arrogantly, you actually dare to stand here. Have you given up your last chance to live? In that case, I'll just have to send you to your death. Below, Murong-chan immediately became a little scared. That iron pillar's weight alone is quite astonishing. But Xiaoyu spoke without any panic. No attack will make Brother Lingjin fall. And at this time, Wu Lingjin was also very curious about Wang Taizhu. What kind of move would he use? Wang Taizhu was seen suddenly letting out a fierce roar, then activating a clothes-bursting mode. Along with a cloud of smoke that exploded, Wang Taizhu instantly activated the Iron Pillar Handsome Dance mode. This maneuver instantly made the audience below vomit blood. Even Huang Luhong said that such an eye-searing move was simply an insult to Xian Tian Academy's reputation. But the headmaster said irritably, "Idiot, the eye-searing part is just a facade. Haven't you noticed that something is not quite right with everyone?" Sure enough, at this moment, Wu Lingjin felt extremely uncomfortable, and Wang Taizhu took this opportunity to quickly grab his weapon and charge at him. However, Wu Lingjin still managed to dodge this strike with great difficulty, but Wang Taizhu decisively pressed his advantage. The Iron Pillar Whirlwind Dance was suddenly unleashed wildly. At this point, Murong-chan already understood Wang Taizhu's intention. Even if his actions are disgusting, it's impossible to make people feel this uncomfortable. The truth is that his actions are just a smokescreen. The real trick is that his iron pillar can secretly release poisonous smoke. Hearing this, Wang Taizhu immediately let out a cold laugh that it's too late to realize it now. The entire area around the arena is already enveloped in my poisonous smoke. I've already secured victory in this match. On a life and death stage, any means are justified. Just in agony. At this moment, Wu Lingjin felt he couldn't muster any strength in his body. His head also hurt a lot. Even his vision started to blur. And Wang Taizhu laughed again. Right now, you can't even use 10% of your strength. Let me end your suffering quickly. The next second, Wang Taizhu directly smashed the pillar on Wu Lingjin's head. Seeing that Wu Lingjin was not seriously injured, Wang Taizhu immediately used the wild iron pillar dance, wantonly smashing Wu Lingjin with the iron pillar. At this moment, Wu Lingjin had no room to resist at all. Seeing this from below the stage, Murong-chan quickly said, "Lingjin, don't fight anymore." Even Xiaoyu couldn't help but shout for the referee to stop the match quickly. But the referee directly refused that Wu Lingjin still has the ability to counterattack. "I can't stop it yet." At this moment, Wu Lingjin had become a punching bag with no room to fight back. And below the stage, Bai Di was also staring intently at the match. Then she sighed with some surprise. "Is that all the strength you have? You really disappoint me." At this time, Wang Taizhu felt the time was about right. He used his full strength to smash it fiercely on Wu Lingjin's head. But this blow did not make Wu Lingjin fail. But Wang Taizhu said, "With the little strength you have now, you still want to resist?" But Wu Lingjin said with a serious face, "It's precisely because I can't use my strength right now that for this punch, I must use all the power I have now." Now Wang Taizhu completely laughed. "With that soft fist of yours, do you really think you can hurt me?" As soon as his voice fell, Wu Lingjin's fist had already touched his abdomen. Instantly, a terrifyingly immense force erupted from the fist. The invisible fist energy passed through Wang Taizhu's body and continued behind him, blasting out. This terrifying scene left even the audience below stunned. And Wang Taizhu, who was originally sure of victory, was now foaming at the mouth and could no longer laugh. Instantly, his body lost consciousness and collapsed to the ground. Only then did Wu Lingjin wipe the ketchup from his head and say calmly, "I won." The boy with no cultivation became a one-punch man. However, Xiao Huahua used his abnormal fire to prevent him from getting close. Just now, little Fatty opened his heavenly eye and easily dodged Yu Jiashue's earth rock spike. However, Yu Jiashue circulated his profound energy again, preparing to strike once more. Seeing this, little Fatty immediately analyzed secretly. Next, the probability of him using a fire-type technique for a long-range attack is 10%. The probability of him using an earth-type technique to approach me and then using punches and kicks is 90%. Sure enough, Yu Jiashue used the earth-type shrink the ground to an inch to quickly approach him. And Fatty, without any panic, decisively raised his hand to block. He felt he could definitely block this blow. But unexpectedly, he didn't block it at all. The force of this punch was too powerful. It directly sent him flying. Yu Jiashue was also a bit stunned now. This little Fatty couldn't even take one of his punches. And Fatty quickly took out his notebook and wrote furiously. Next time, remember to calculate the strength difference between both sides. Then he closed his eyes and fainted. Seeing this, the referee quickly congratulated Yu Jiaxue on his victory. Huang Luhong also couldn't help but praise Jiaxue. This kid's strength has improved quite a bit. But Yu Tianxing said helplessly, but he's still unwilling to use the Yu family's techniques. And Yu Jiaxue didn't even glance at him, directly turning his head and leaving the stage. And Wu Lingjin also went on stage, picked up little Fatty on his back, and praised, "I didn't expect you to have gotten stronger. You look really cool when you open your heavenly eye. It's a pity my aptitude is too poor. Otherwise, I would definitely learn this move from you." Afterwards, the referee announced again, "For the second round of matches, we will also have random pairings. The students whose names are called next should come directly to the stage." Now Xiao Huahua was a bit stunned. What's going on? With random pairings, how am I supposed to fight Wu Lingjin? But Xiao Chunhui signaled him not to worry. The people Wu Lingjin has offended are not just the two of us. Soon, the referee took out 2 pieces of paper and began to read. This match will be Wu Lingjin versus Xiao Huahua. Hearing this, Xiao Huahua finally showed a satisfied smile. But Xiaoyu was immediately dissatisfied. Why is it that with random pairings, Brother Lingjin is still in the same group as that Xiao Huahua? There isn't a problem with your match arrangements, is there? But the referee shouted, "Are you kidding? How could our Xiantian Academy possibly target a newly enrolled disciple?" And Xiao Huahua quickly chimed in, "That's right. I believe Instructor Mei won't be biased towards anyone." This hesitation, it couldn't be because you're afraid of my strength, could it? And Wu Lingjin also signaled Xiaoyu not to say any more. If he wanted to get into a better class, he couldn't back down in the slightest now. Murong Chan was immediately captivated. Lingjin looks quite handsome when he's serious. Before long, Wu Lingjin walked onto the arena. The match was about to begin. Xiao Huahua smiled with great satisfaction that I didn't expect you to actually dare to come up and accept the challenge. Well then, let's settle our new and old scores together. Xiao Huahua's attacks were very fierce. Wu Lingjin was instantly forced into a situation where he could only passively dodge. However, taking advantage of a pause in Xiao Huahua's attacks, Wu Lingjin's figure suddenly flashed. In just an instant, he attacked Xiao Huahua's back. Seeing Wu Lingjin's sandbag-sized fist about to fall, Xiao Huahua wasn't flustered at all. Instead, he allowed a cold laugh. Then he suddenly erupted with the green lotus abnormal fire. Wu Lingjin was immediately burned by the abnormal fire and quickly pulled away. And Xiao Huahua revealed a smile of someone sure of victory. "I've completely figured out your fighting style. As long as I don't give you a chance to get close, you're helpless." After speaking, Xiao Huahua began to fully activate the green lotus abnormal fire in his body. Then he compressed and condensed the flames into 2 giant dragons. The green flame dragon kings were instantly formed. Facing the pincer attack of the twin dragons, Wu Lingjin knew the temperature of these flames was too high. He couldn't block it with his body. Xiao Chunhua now laughed heartily. "That's it. Force him into a corner." And Bai Di watched the completely suppressed Wu Lingjin and couldn't help but frown secretly. "Wu Lingjin, it's about time you revealed your demonic cultivation methods, isn't it?" Before long, Wu Lingjin was forced to the edge of the arena. He couldn't retreat any further, and Xiao Huahua immediately took the opportunity to frantically activate his abnormal fire. A move, twin dragons entering the sea, was suddenly used. The 2 dragon kings continuously intertwined and charged towards Wu Lingjin. The boy scared the child of fortune, Xiao Huahua, into wetting his pants with just a casual punch. But not convinced, he actually asked Elder Dan to lend him his power. Just now, Xiao Huahua used twin dragons entering the sea in an attempt to force Wu Lingjin off the stage. Seeing he had no way to retreat, Wu Lingjin had no choice but to use his full strength to deal with it. Seeing this, little Fatty immediately prepared to start recording. What move is Boss Lingjin going to use? Wu Lingjin was seen suddenly clapping his hands together fiercely while shouting loudly. Immortal technique, chest squeeze exercise. This is an immortal technique I cultivated by combining my own fitness experience. Impressive, right? Hearing this, Xiao Huahua immediately sneered. "You actually caught my green flame dragon kings with your bare hands. You do have some skill, But my methods go far beyond this. As soon as his voice fell, the trapped green flame dragon kings suddenly began to dissipate. Then they turned into clusters of green lotuses floating around Wu Lingjin. Before he could react, those green lotuses exploded violently. Xiao Huahua immediately laughed loudly. With an attack of this density, let's see how you catch it with your hands. And the pressure on Wu Lingjin also increased sharply. It seems I have to use a stronger immortal technique. Thinking of this, Wu Lingjin immediately began to rapidly jump left and right, blowing away the abnormal fire around him. Seeing this, Zhongma of the He Huan sect immediately exploded. How did you learn my He Huan sect's Phantom Iron Mountain Lean? However, Wu Lingjin's left and right jumps were just rapid movements, having nothing to do with the Phantom Iron Mountain Lean. Xiao Hua was furious that he actually used the airflow generated by rapid movement to blow away my fire lotuses. What a troublesome native. Then he clapped his hands together and shouted, "The area around you is already filled with fire spiritual energy. Watch this move. Fire rock killing prison." As soon as his voice fell, the ground suddenly began to crack and rise up, charging towards Wu Lingjin to crush him. Seeing this, little Fatty was immediately shocked. Isn't Xiao Huahua a dual attribute spiritual root of metal and fire? Why can he still use earth-type moves? And I didn't feel any fluctuation of earth's spiritual energy at all. And Xiao Huahua sneered secretly. The natives of this world are really brainless. They don't even know the principle of the 5 elements, generating and overcoming each other. Knowing the principles of this world, even if I only have 2-element spiritual roots, my moves are ever-changing. With that said, Xiao Huahua suddenly squatted down and attacked again. This time, what he threw out was still an earth-type spell, piercing rock assault art. Instantly, a rock block covered with rock spikes slammed down violently. Now Xiao Huahua was immediately satisfied. Although there were some small surprises, a native from another world can't possibly be a match for me, the son of the plane. However, just at this moment, the pile of rocks that buried Wu Lingjin suddenly began to rumble. Even the ground of the entire area began to shake violently. It turned out to be because Wu Lingjin used the immortal technique, super high-speed bench press, forcibly shaking off the pile of rocks on his body. Now Xiao Huahua was completely unsettled. How is this possible? And Xiao Yu said proudly that compared to Brother Lingen's training volume, these stone slabs were not worth mentioning at all. Wu Lingjin also said with some regret, "This weight is still too light." Xiao Huahua immediately gritted his teeth and said, "Impossible. There can't be anyone in this world who can make me suffer. As the chosen one, I will never lose to a random nobody. Metal borrows the power of earth. Earth generates metal. Heavy rock of 10,000 June, thunderous slash." As soon as his voice fell, Xiao Huahua's heavy ruler was already imbued with terrifying lightning power. Seeing this, Wu Lingjin immediately bent his body and casually used the immortal technique, torso twist exercise. He smashed the heavy ruler into 2 pieces. Staring at the broken ruler in his hand, Xiao Huahua was completely shocked. The next second, Wu Lingjin suddenly threw a punch. A terrifying gust of fist wind instantly erupted in the arena. However, Wu Lingjin's punch did not land on Xiao Huahua's face. In order not to hurt others, Wu Lingjin politely reminded him, "You lose." After speaking, Wu Lingjin paid no more attention to Xiao Huahua. He prepared to walk off the arena, but Xiao Huahua shouted angrily, "Bastard, stop right there. I will not lose like this. Elder Dan, lend me your power." In order to show his strength as the son of destiny, the boy actually overdrew Elder Dan's energy to forcibly activate the 5 elements abnormal fire. Just now, Xiao Huahua, who was forced into a desperate situation, actually wanted Elder Dan to lend him his power. But Elder Dan thought he was crazy. "You want me, a remnant soul, to risk my old life for an entrance exam?" But Xiao Huahua was very firm. "If I can't even stand out in the entrance exam, then what's the point of me being in this world?" Originally, he was just an ordinary student who was even isolated and ridiculed by his classmates for liking to read comics. He was very resentful about this in his heart. He had fantasized countless times that if he had a protagonist golden finger, he would definitely make those people pay. Perhaps heaven heard his inner voice. An accidental car crash caused him to really transmigrate into the world of a comic. And he even became a down-and-out young master of the Shao family. But after transmigrating, he would never again be a piece of trash ridiculed by others, because he possessed this ring. Just as is common in comics, a powerful cultivator's remnant soul lived inside the ring. He was Elder Dan. In his life, Elder Dan was not only powerful in cultivation, but also an alchemy grandmaster. With Elder Dan's help, he quickly broke through to the chi refining stage. After gaining great strength, those who had once bullied him all received their due consequences. He also rose among the younger generation of the family due to his outstanding performance, gradually gaining the recognition and awe of his clansmen. He felt that he was the chosen one with a golden finger and could not be defeated by a random nobody. Seeing that Xiao Huahua was so determined, Elder Dan could only sigh helplessly. Then he spoke directly. This spiritual energy I've saved is only enough for you to use for half an incense stick's time. You'd better use it sparingly, kid. Finish this quickly. The moment Elder Dan erupted, everyone immediately felt that the spiritual energy on Xiao Huahua was not right. Although Elder Dan had a spirit transformation stage cultivation in his life, now he could only grant Xiao Huahua a golden core stage cultivation. However, Xiao Huahua didn't care about the cultivation level. The important thing was that he could use the 5 elements abnormal fire from Elder Dan. Xiao Huahua very decisively activated the 5 elements abnormal fire, using the power of metal generating water from the 5 elements generation cycle. He launched the purple thunder water prison, directly hitting Wu Lingjin. Trapped by the water prison, Wu Lingjin instantly felt a strong sense of suffocation. Then, Xiao Huahua's laughter was heard. Even if your strength is great, it will definitely be affected in the water. Earth generates metal. Black profound breaking iron thorn. Die for me. And Wu Lingjin quickly used the immortal art, fast breaststroke, to dodge in time. However, Xiao Huahua used water-generating wood, Inwood entanglement, to bind his feet. With the branches restraining him, Wu Lingjin couldn't move freely, and Xiao Huahua quickly took the opportunity to bite his finger. Now Elder Dan completely exploded that you're actually using your life essence blood to make a move. Don't you know this could damage your foundation? But Xiao Huahua only had enough spiritual energy left for one move. He had to ensure that he would finish off Wu Lingjin. So he frantically activated the 5 elements abnormal fire. Metal generates water. The 5 elements cycle, borrowing power from each other. The moment the power of the 5 elements formed a cycle, the primordial unity Chi Tyrant Sky / instantly condensed. The power of this move had clearly surpassed a battle between Chi refining stage cultivators. Yu Qinxing also acted immediately, enveloping the arena, to prevent the battle's aftershocks from harming the audience outside the arena. At the same time, Xiao Huahua had already swung down the Tyrant Sky / while shouting loudly, "I refuse to be an ordinary person who is ignored anymore. I must win." But Wu Lingjin was not afraid in the slightest, responding with equal determination. "I have a reason to not lose that is even greater than yours." Then, Wu Lingjin used the immortal technique, ordinary straight punch. The Tyrant Sky / instantly collided with Wu Lingjin's straight punch. But it was this unremarkable punch that made Xiao Huahua's expression change drastically. The incomparably terrifying Tyrant Sky / was instantly shattered by the punch. Even Yu Tianxing couldn't help but be shocked. This punch has no spiritual energy fluctuations. Can a person really produce such power with just their physical body? What is the origin of this kid? And Elder Dan also quickly tried to persuade him. "Xiaohua, we've lost." But the unyielding Xiao Huahua still wanted to forcefully activate his abnormal fire to continue the match. But Wu Lingjin suddenly flashed in front of him and flicked him lightly on the head. He easily flicked him unconscious. Then, with an indifferent expression, he said, "Sorry, I'm actually a transmigrated too." The girl actually put her storage pouch in a strange place. It was because that was the spot on her body with the most space. Just now, Wu Lingjin had knocked down Xiao Huahua with a single ordinary straight punch. Instructor Mei was instantly floored. Just how strong is this bastard? The winner of this match is Wu Lingjin. Murong Chan and Xiaoyu immediately and excitedly surrounded Wu Lingjin. But just then his stomach started to growl. Hearing this, Murong Chan quickly reached in her chest and pulled out a large chicken leg, handing it to Wu Lingjin. Seeing this, Xiaoyu immediately exploded. Can you not put your storage pouch in such a weird place? But Murong Chan said shyly, but this is where I have the most space. Seeing Wu Lingjin eating happily, Xiaoyu secretly decided that she couldn't let this green tea girl get close to brother Lingjin anymore. Just then, Instructor Mei suddenly spoke up, signaling for them to get off the stage quickly. Wu Lingjin suddenly remembered something. He then walked over to Xiao Huahua with a large chicken leg. He offered the chicken leg. You must be hungry too. Want some? Although Xiao Huahua was also very hungry at this moment, he stubbornly said he didn't need any sympathy, then got up, turned around, and left the stage. Seeing Xiaoyu was about to flare up, Wu Lingjin quickly said, he and I are kind of from the same hometown. Let's not make things too awkward. However, just then, Zidi suddenly spoke up. Wu Lingjin, stop right there. Instructor Mei, who was nearby, immediately chuckled awkwardly. Miss Zidi, I don't think this is your scheduled match. But Baidi ignored him and continued speaking to Wu Lingjin. I admit you have some skill. The fact that you dealt with Xiao Huahua so easily was a bit surprising to me. They couldn't force you to reveal your demonic cultivation methods, so I'll do it myself. Hearing this, Wu Lingjin immediately panicked. What demonic cultivation? What are you talking about? Then Baidi said bluntly, I want to fight my match early, is that all right? I don't want to waste time. Aside from Wu Lingjin, the rest of the advanced students can all come at once. The small fries below immediately erupted into an uproar. She wants to fight everyone by herself? Does she really think she's all that just because her cultivation is a bit higher? Xiao Huahua couldn't help but laugh. As expected of the woman I have my eye on, she challenges everyone right away. But Elder Dan said irritably, but the woman you have your eye on seems to only have eyes for that Wu Lingjin. You heard her just now, didn't you? He seems to be some kind of transmigrated too. Stop thinking about being the son of destiny all the time. Cultivation requires being down to earth. But Xiaohua was sneered. Quite the opposite. Having a fated rival who is also a transmigrator solidifies my status as the son of destiny. Just you wait. I will overcome all hardships and crush you all under my feet. Regarding Zidi's request, Yu Tianxing felt that it was good for young people to have some drive. After confirming with her again, Yu Tianxing decisively agreed to Baidi's request. The match began shortly after. The geniuses from the major families instantly rushed onto the stage. They all charged towards Zidi, but Baidi wasn't flustered at all, directly using the sword control art. Defensive move, Dance of 100 Swords. She easily blocked everyone's joint attack. The genius from a Mad Blade sect decisively used his ultimate skill, Purple Thunder Mad Blade. In a contest of strength, Zidi was also fearless. Under the effect of the sword art, the long sword in her hand instantly expanded several times in size, blocking the blade head-on. Then, a terrifying wave of energy suddenly erupted. The genius from a Mad Blade sect was instantly blasted off the stage. Seeing this, Yu Joshua couldn't help but say in surprise, as expected of the #1 genius of the younger generation. She sent the young master of the Mad Blade sect flying in a single exchange. Little Fatty also couldn't help but say excitedly, the sword techniques of Sword Control Peak are incredible. But speaking of which, didn't you advance too? Why aren't you on the stage? But Yu Joshua said proudly, this young master doesn't fight battles he's sure to lose. The girl, in order to force out the boy's demonic cultivation methods, ruthlessly used her most powerful move. Just moments ago, Zidi had fought all the challengers by herself. Although she was very strong, she was still forced to only dodge. But a spinning sword, Qi, still easily sent the sneak attacker flying. However, there were simply too many challengers. It was endless, so she decisively used the sword control art and flew up directly. Fatty immediately explained, this isn't the flying technique of a Golden Core expert. It's a move from Sword Control Peak that uses a flying sword to carry a person. To end it quickly, Ziti decisively used her ultimate move. Following a loud shout, countless long swords suddenly rained down from the sky. A large number of the challengers below were instantly knocked down. Wu Lingjin immediately said with admiration, "To have such strength in the foundation establishment stage. I really want to master spiritual energy quickly." Just then, a figure suddenly approached the stage and revealed a playful smile. The young miss has gotten stronger again. This one move directly made Ziti the victor. She looked at Wu Lingjin with great urgency and said directly, "Wu Lingjin, it's our turn to settle our grudges." Hearing this, Wu Lingjin quickly walked onto the stage and said, "You just finished fighting. Don't you need a rest?" But Ziti said nonchalantly, "Dealing with them didn't take much of my energy at all." Yu Qianxing was also looking forward to it. These two little ones should be the strongest among this year's students. Let's see how they match up. Hearing this, Huang Luhong immediately dispatched a large number of mechanical puppets, which then carried all the small fries away. Baidi shouted urgently, "I will definitely force you to use your full strength in this fight and expose your identity as a demonic cultivator." Wu Lingjin quickly explained, "You must be mistaken. I don't even have a cultivation base. How could I be a demonic cultivator? Even if I really were one, we have no grudge against each other. It doesn't have to be a life or death battle, does it?" Hearing this, Ziti was instantly enraged. "Doesn't have to be? You have no idea what I've been through." Wu Lingjin was instantly dumbfounded. Why does she seem even angrier now? Baidi wasted no more words and directly attacked Wu Lingjin with a skyward sword chi. He knew very well that he absolutely could not take this powerful spiritual energy head-on. He decisively used an immortal technique, a standing high jump, to easily dodge the attack. But unexpectedly, the sword chi that missed suddenly shot upwards, coming at him. But Wu Lingjin's reaction was very quick. He dodged it with a sidestep. Seeing the sword chi dissipate, he breathed a sigh of relief. However, just then, Ziti had already rapidly closed in behind him, shouting, "Let's see you dodge in mid-air." Baidi decisively activated the sword control art. A giant sword of spiritual energy instantly slashed towards Wu Lingjin. This sword solidly struck Wu Lingjin, knocking him down from the stage. But Wu Lingjin caught the sword with empty-handed blade catch. Murong Chan was immediately stunned. He actually caught such a huge sword. Baidi was already furious. "Damn demonic cultivator. Even this isn't enough to force out your trump card?" She immediately attacked again. Countless long swords shot towards Wu Lingjin. Seeing this, Wu Lingjin quickly took a deep breath. Immortal technique, continuous empty-handed blade, catch instantly caught all the long swords. He then crumpled the long swords into a ball and threw it back to Ziti, signaling, "You're no match for me. You should just give up." At these words, a strong killing intent immediately erupted from Ziti. She then said, word by word, "I will never surrender to a demonic cultivator." In her attempt to kill the demonic cultivator Wu Lingjin, the girl was almost possessed by her inner demon. Just now, Wu Lingjin had completely ignited Ziti's determination to take revenge on demonic cultivators. It turned out that she had sensed spiritual energy 10 years ago. At only 5 years old, she could draw chi into her body. Her mother believed she could definitely become the most powerful cultivator of sword control peak. To shoulder the responsibility of the entire sect, Ziti began to train desperately, striving to break through to the chi refining stage early. Her father, Zi Jianren, was very moved by Ziti's maturity. The cultivation world is fraught with danger. Enduring some hardship now, that is better than losing your life in the future. He believed that Baidi would definitely become the most outstanding prodigy. Baidi trained hard until night. She was just a little bit away from breaking through to the chi refining stage. But just then, a demonic shadow appeared behind her, and her mother, who was just about to bring her some pastries, happened to see this scene. While Ziti was concentrating on breaking through her realm, her mother was already fighting the demonic cultivator. However, just as she successfully broke through, she saw her mother being injured by the demonic cultivator. By the time Jianren arrived after hearing the commotion, it was already too late. Baidi's mother had died tragically under the demonic cultivator's sword. The furious Bai Jianren immediately attacked, restraining the demonic cultivator. He then used the chi-extinguishing demon slash to shatter him. But Zidi's mother still died from excessive blood loss. Bai Jianren then took out a long sword and instructed, "Today is your birthday. From now on, with mother gone, you must use this sword to protect yourself." Recalling this painful past, Baidi said coldly, "I will never surrender to a demonic cultivator. I must use this sword to slay all demonic cultivators in the world. I know ordinary moves are useless against you, but don't think this is all I've got." Although my father always warned me not to use this move before the Golden Core stage, facing such a powerful demonic cultivator, I have no other choice. Chi permeates the cosmos. Sword annihilates all demons. Seeing this, Yu Tianxing immediately frowned. This should be sword control peaks, sure kill, strike against demonic cultivators. But just then, Baidi suddenly spat out a mouthful of blood. Then, chains of profound energy bound Wu Ling Jin. Baidi then leaped into the air. The terrifying demon slaying slash instantly chopped down. Baidi finally breathed a sigh of relief. The chi-extinguishing demon slash is a move specifically for dealing with demonic cultivators. This strike is enough to kill you. But Wu Ling Jin spoke, completely unharmed. "Are you done with your move?" Seeing this, Baidi panicked. "What level of demonic cultivator are you? Why are you completely fine?" Wu Ling Jin said irritably, "Is there any possibility that I'm not a demonic cultivator?" But Zidi ignored him, thinking there must be a problem with my technique. Let me carefully recall what my father in the ancient text said. Is it because I haven't broken through to the Golden Core stage, so the technique I used is flawed? If I had a Golden Core cultivation base, I could definitely slay this demonic cultivator. It's all because my strength is too weak. I must break through. I must kill all demonic cultivators. Just as Zidi was about to be invaded by her inner demon, Yu Tianxing suddenly appeared beside her and said in a stern tone, "The match ends here." But a masked man hiding in the crowd snorted coldly, "It's too late to stop it now." After speaking, he stealthily flicked out a streak of red profound energy and shot it directly into Baidi's body. Instantly, Zidi's entire aura changed abruptly. A scarlet color rose up. The legendary, terrifying demonic cultivator has arrived. The boy actually caught the demonic cultivator's full power slash with his bare hands. Just moments ago, a demonic cultivator hiding in the crowd had implanted an inner demon seed into Zidi. Because her obsession with defeating Wu Ling Jin was too strong, a terrifying inner demon was instantly born. Yu Tianxing completely lost it. To think a demonic cultivator managed to sneak in at a time like this. He immediately ordered instructors, escort the students to a safe area. "I'll deal with this demonic cultivator." Before Baidi could understand her situation, the newly appeared inner demon charged at her. Instantly, the scene of her mother's tragic death at the hands of a demonic cultivator replayed in her mind. Although she wanted to kill all demonic cultivators, her body was trembling so much she couldn't move. At this critical moment, Yu Tianxing acted in time, blocking the fatal blow for her. The masked man felt the current situation wasn't chaotic enough, so he directly signaled his subordinate inner demons to act. Instantly, countless black shadows emerged from under his feet. Seeing the swarm of inner demons approaching, Instructor May immediately stepped forward, saying he would stop them. With his human punching bag sacred body, he felt that those demonic cultivators were no match for him. He decisively used the immovable Vajra technique to meet the attacks of all the inner demons. Instructor May's strength immediately impressed the students, but the sharp-eyed Xiaoyu quickly noticed something was wrong. Instructor May seems to have fainted while standing again. Yu Tianxing knew he couldn't let the students get hurt, so he erupted with profound energy and quickly flew up. He directly used his ultimate move, Falling Flame Art, to try and end the battle quickly. As large-scale fireballs rained down, a large number of inner demons were instantly killed. However, Yu Tianxing noticed the situation below was not good. One that slipped through the net took the opportunity to attack Baidi. He knew he was too late to rescue her. By the time Baidi noticed something was wrong, it was already too late. But Wu Lingjin flashed and appeared behind her, and sent the inner demon flying with a punch. Seeing this, Zidi immediately frowned and said, "Why did you attack it? Why did you save me?" Hearing this, Wu Lingjin was immediately taken aback. I can't hit it. Is it your pet or something? Baidi was instantly embarrassed. I mean, I've been targeting you, thinking you were a demonic cultivator. Why did you save me? But Wu Lingjin said nonchalantly, because whether one is a demonic cultivator or not isn't important. What's important is whether there is kindness in a person's heart. This is all my old man taught me. I think he's right. I think you're a good person, so you can't just be taken out like this. However, just then, two inner demons suddenly leaped up and stealthily attacked Wu Lingjin. But Wu Lingjin just casually used immortal technique, ways twist and turn, and easily killed them instantly. Seeing this, Yu Qinxing was surprised. He can even defeat those things? One interesting kid. I need to hurry up and finish off these demonic cultivators too. Explode for me. As soon as he spoke, countless falling flames began to erupt continuously, densely attacking the inner demons on the ground. But the giant inner demon suddenly let out a roar at this moment. Then, in the instant it got up quickly, it swung a terrifying slash at Baidi and Wu Lingjin. But Wu Lingjin once again used empty-handed blade catch, barely managing to stop it. However, the inner demon's strength was clearly not weak. The man and the demon were instantly locked in a stalemate. Zidi also knew she had to join the fight. She immediately leaped up and slashed her sword at the inner demon. The moment the sword chi landed, the inner demon's arm was immediately severed. Seeing this, Wu Lingjin exclaimed in surprise, I wasn't mistaken. You really are a good person. Just then, the severed arm suddenly began to emit a scarlet mist, which then spread towards Zidi. Baidi instantly felt her whole body go weak and quickly shouted a warning. Oh no. This monster is poisonous. The girl, in order to detoxify the boy, actually took the initiative to kiss him. But unexpectedly, they were interrupted by the inner demon. The angry boy directly smashed the third wheel with a punch. Just now, the inner demon's severed arm had released a terrifying poisonous mist. Just by being tainted by it, Wu Lingjin realized this poisonous mist was even more potent than Wang Tieju's from before. The inner demon also suddenly retracted its long blade at this moment, then attacked Wu Lingjin with lightning speed. At this time, Wu Lingjin was already completely immobilized by the poisonous mist. But just then, Baidi suddenly rushed to his side and blocked the slash for him with her longsword. But Zidi was also hurt, instantly spitting out a mouthful of ketchup. Seeing that Baidi couldn't hold on, Wu Lingjin quickly carried her away. He quickly took the opportunity to ask, you can still move? Does the poisonous mist not affect you? But Baidi said she didn't know either. It might be because I already have antibodies. But Zidi said with some despair, even if I'm not affected by the poisonous mist, I'm still not confident in dealing with this demonic cultivator. Wu Lingjin was stunned. Demonic cultivator? Demonic cultivators shouldn't look like this, right? At the same time, the inner demon's severed arm suddenly grew back. Then the inner demon let out a sudden roar and rapidly swung its long blade, slashing at the two of them, forcefully separating them. Wu Lingjin said anxiously, isn't your chi-extinguishing demon slash very strong? Hurry up and use it. But Baidi said, feeling powerless, my hands. They won't obey me right now. Just then, Xiao Huahua suddenly walked onto the stage and sneered. At a time like this, it seems a hero is needed to save the damsel in distress after all. But Elder Dan said irritably, you'd better be careful. I can't help you this time. But Xiao Huahua laughed confidently. Zidi, just watch my performance. Seeing the inner demon enter a state of rage, Xiao Huahua immediately clapped his hands, quenching and forging. Xian Tian Heavy Ruler, reforged. As soon as he spoke, a brand new Xian Heavy Ruler instantly appeared in his hands. Without any hesitation, he charged directly at the inner demon. The power of this ruler strike was immense. It easily severed one of the inner demon's arms. Seeing this, Wu Lingjin quickly shouted a reminder, be careful, its arm can release poisonous gas. But Xiao Huahua said dismissively, you think I don't know that? What feeds fire? Roar of the flame dragon. As soon as he spoke, scorching flames instantly ignited on the severed arm. Under Xiao Huahua's mental control, the flames began to spread and condense rapidly, forming a fire dragon that charged at the inner demon. The massive inner demon was simply unable to dodge and was hit head-on. Xiao Huahua also took the opportunity to leap up again and used his final strike. Earth begets metal, earth-splitting, heaven-opening ruler. But the inner demon blocked the attack in time with its long blade, and with even greater power. sent Xiao Huahua flying with a backhand strike. Seeing this, Elder Dan quickly advised him to just pass out peacefully, but Xiao Huahua insisted on fighting to the end. At the same time, the long blade in the inner demon's hand began to swing wildly, and Baidi's expression suddenly changed drastically. This is impossible. These are clearly our sword control peak's techniques. This demonic cultivator, could it be a spy from within Sword Control Peak? I know everyone from Sword Control Peak. Who on earth is this guy? Seeing the inner demon attack again, Wu Lingjin quickly grabbed the DayZD and blocked the slash for her with his body. Seeing Wu Lingjin heavily injured, ZD finally snapped out of it. Yu Qianqing was also completely enraged. Bastard, how dare you harm my students in Xian Tian Academy? As soon as he spoke, a colossal fireman Dharma idol appeared out of thin air. It raised its hand and slammed a palm down on the group of inner demons below. Wherever the fire god's giant palm passed, the inner demons were burned to ashes. But the swarm of inner demons seemed endless, still firmly entangling him. However, Wu Lingjin was not seriously injured. He quickly reassured her, "I'm fine. I just can't muster any strength. If I weren't poisoned, I definitely could have dodged it. As long as I have the antibody, I should be able to detoxify." At these words, Baidi immediately said with determination, "My blood should have the antibodies. I'll cut my wrist and let you drink." However, the inner demon wouldn't give her such an opportunity. It raised its blade and slashed again, interrupting the two. Seeing that there was no time to feed Wu Lingjin her blood, Baidi steeled her resolve. She grabbed Wu Lingjin directly and kissed him. The moment their lips touched, Wu Lingjin felt his body instantly become much lighter. Seeing this, Xiao Huahua was so overwhelmed with anger that he fainted on the spot. Fatty quickly took out his notebook and started writing furiously. Just as I predicted, Baidi has been having an affair with old man Lingjin for a long time. Xiaoyu at this point had completely exploded. "On what ground are you kissing my brother Lingjin? Let go of him." However, just then, the inner demon roared and swung its blade at the two again. But Wu Lingjin, whose body had already recovered, directly raised his hand and hit it with an immortal technique, Sure Kill Fist. After taking this punch, the huge inner demon instantly collapsed to the ground. Wu Lingjin also finally breathed a sigh of relief and said slowly, "My strength is finally back." This seemingly ordinary sweeping monk actually cut down the terrifying demonic cultivator with a single sword strike. Just moments ago, after ZD gave Wu Lingjin the antibody for the poisonous mist, he had pierced through the terrifying inner demon with a single punch. ZD immediately blushed. She felt that this bastard Wu Lingjin was actually a little handsome. But Wu Lingjin asked, puzzled, "Why are you blushing? Are your injuries serious?" Yu Qianqing also saw that the two were unharmed, so he increased his firepower to make those demonic cultivators pay the price. Watching his subordinates being bombarded, the masked man's expression remained unchanged. Yu Qianqing locked onto him in that instant. "You're the culprit, aren't you?" As soon as he spoke, the terrifying fire god Dharma idol appeared again. It raised its hand and slammed a palm towards the masked man. But unexpectedly, the masked man was just a substitute. Yu Qianqing immediately cursed out loud, "Bastards! What on earth are these demonic cultivators trying to do?" Meanwhile, inside the library pavilion of Xian Tian Academy, a faint demonic chi was quietly eroding it. After landing, the masked man immediately laughed. "These idiots of the righteous path. Did you really think I would attack from the front?" After speaking, he tore open a rift and summoned several small spiders, then signaled, "Go. Just find that thing." Instantly, the small spiders began to disperse throughout the library pavilion, climbing and searching continuously. Before long, one of the small spiders brought a secret manual to the masked man. After picking up the manual, he immediately laughed. Such an important thing, and Xintian Academy doesn't even hide it properly. However, just then, an indifferent voice suddenly sounded. The library pavilion is a forbidden area of Xintian Academy. Outsiders who enter without permission and cause damage will be fined 1,000 spirit stones. After seeing the person clearly, the masked man said in surprise, and here I was wondering who it was. "The once mighty Utei's. How have you fallen to become a sweeping janitor?" But Utei's said to himself, "That has nothing to do with you. I'm only responsible for maintaining order in the academy. I hope you will restore this place to its original state and pay the fine in full." The masked man immediately sneered, "And what if I don't?" As soon as he spoke, Yu Taiz's had already rushed in front of him and shouted, "Then don't blame me for not warning you." The next second, Yu Tai's swung his broom down fiercely, directly severing the masked man's arm. The terrifying aura even sliced the entire library pavilion in half. Seeing this, Yu Tianqing immediately thought, this is bad. Something's happened at the library pavilion. He immediately signaled the instructors to protect the students while he went to check on the situation. Watching the anxious Yu Tianqing leave, Xiao Yu couldn't help but frown. It seems these are going to be turbulent times. Meanwhile, the injured masked man said with an unchanged expression, "You talk about protecting the academy, but you're more enthusiastic about wrecking the place than I am." Yu Tai's remained indifferent. "Then I'll add a fine of 10,000 spirit stones for repair costs." But just then, the severed arm suddenly erupted with demonic qi. After reattaching his arm, the masked man immediately said, "You old geezer. After all these years, you're still so unreasonable." Hearing this, Yu Tai's immediately flared up again and shouted, "There's no need for reason with demonic cultivators." However, this time, the masked man's arm suddenly began to demonize, catching the broom completely unharmed. He even sent him flying with ease. Afterwards, the masked man continuously unleashed terrifying demonic qi. The entire library pavilion began to rumble continuously. Then the masked man spoke again. "You feel it, don't you? The strength I've accumulated over these years is far beyond your imagination. I still remember back then, you were in high spirits. You almost killed me. I had no choice but to sacrifice my entire family, just to forcefully raise my strength to a level similar to yours. Although I succeeded in repelling you that time, you also snatched half of my secret manual. Now, I have finally gathered enough power and have finally taken back this other half of the manual. Why are you silent? Have you realized there's now an irreversible gap between us?" But Yu Tai's simply ignored him. "You have once again damaged academy facilities. The fine is 20,000 spirit stones." At these words, the masked man was instantly enraged. "Old fool, you can settle your accounts in the underworld." Yu Tai's knew he was no match for him right now, but he couldn't dodge the attack of the demonic claw. Helpless, he had no choice but to draw his sword and sigh. "Old friend, I'll have to ask you to act once more." The next second, Yu Tai's suddenly drew his sword, and in an instant severed the masked man's arm again. Then, the sword erupted with immense, profound energy, forcefully knocking the masked man back. This time, the masked man completely lost his composure. "Damn it!" Yu Tai's, holding a simple, broken sword, said indifferently, "Remnant flame." The boy just tackled the girl to the ground, and was unexpectedly planted with an inner demon seed by a demonic cultivator. Just now, Yu Tai's brought out his profound weapon, Remnant Flame. Seeing this, the masked man was instantly shocked. "It's actually that blade. I remember I should have destroyed this blade. I didn't expect you to still keep a broken blade." Hearing this, Yu Tai's immediately shouted, "Whether Remnant Flame is a broken blade or not, you'll know once you try it." As soon as his voice fell, Yu Tai's grabbed Remnant Flame and suddenly charged out. In an instant, Remnant Flame pierced the masked man's head. Then, Yu Tai's swung the blade fiercely, slicing off half of his head. Seeing the masked man fall, Yu Tai's couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief. This should be the end of it, right? But just then, that half of a head suddenly began to sprout dense tentacles. Seeing the masked man's body turn into demonic qi, Yu Tai's was immediately stunned. "What the hell is this thing?" Then, a cold laugh came from behind him. "You old geezer are really not easy to deal with." Yu Tai's immediately shouted, "What demonic technique have you cultivated all these years?" But the masked man turned and ran. "My goal for today has been achieved. I'll come see you again after I've fully mastered this secret technique." Yu Tai's immediately grabbed Remnant Flame and said coldly, "This time, I will never let you escape again." But the masked man sneered, "Are you sure you want to keep chasing me? In that case, the academy you've been protecting will be destroyed." And Yu Tai's also noticed that the demonic qi gathering behind him was about to erupt. Right now, he had no time to pursue the masked man. He had no choice but to use Remnant Flame to cut his own wrist. Then he used the technique reforging with raging fire, turning blood into a blade. At the same time, without turning his head, he said, "I will definitely not let you go." Seeing Yu Tai's choose to deal with the demonic qi he left behind, the masked man burst out laughing. "Then let's see if you'll even survive." Meanwhile, Yu Qianxing, who was rushing over, happened to encounter the eruption of demonic qi. He immediately said anxiously, "Second granduncle, I sense your aura. Are you all right?" Hearing this, Yu Tei said irritably, "How old are you? Still so reckless. If it weren't for protecting the academy, I would have definitely killed that bastard." Yu Qianxing quickly helped him up and asked with concern, "Who on earth injured you so badly?" Yu Tei's expression immediately turned serious. "It's the great demonic cultivator who ravaged the 9 provinces tens of thousands of years ago. Sima Yu." Hearing this, Yu Qianxing's expression changed drastically. It's actually the legendary Sima Yu who slaughtered hundreds of thousands of people to cultivate his demonic arts. Back then, in order to kill him, the Righteous Alliance dispatched more than 30 deity transformation stage experts, at the cost of more than 20 of those deity transformation experts' lives. They barely managed to kill Sima Yu. But Yu Tei's interrupted, "You should be able to see it too, right? He's not cultivating a simple demonic art. He's cultivating a technique to control inner demons." Yu Qianxing's face instantly turned grim. "I knew my feeling wasn't wrong. Those attackers were all manifested inner demons. The matter of inner demons must absolutely not be made public. I must kill Sima Yu." But Yu Tei stopped him. "Don't waste your energy. What you need to do now is notify the Righteous Alliance. Sima, you will definitely stir up another war between the righteous and demonic paths. You must have them assist Xian Tian Academy. After all, I'm no longer able to protect Xian Tian Academy. By the way, these inner demons might self-destruct. Is everything all right over at the martial arts arena?" As soon as he said this, Yu Qianxing suddenly remembered something. He then anxiously flew away, leaving behind only one sentence. "There's still one that hasn't been dealt with." Meanwhile, the inner demon in the martial arts arena had already been brought under control by the instructors, and Zidi suddenly called out to Wu Lingjin. Then she said shyly, "Wu Lingjin, thank you for what you did just now. I admit you saved me just now, but I will still investigate whether you're a demonic cultivator or not." However, just then, a bright light suddenly erupted from behind Zidi. At this moment, Zidi couldn't dodge at all. However, at this critical moment, Wu Lingjin rushed forward and hugged her directly. Then he used his own back to block the demonic qi explosion. However, Wu Lingjin found that he seemed to be fine. Just as the two were having an intimate moment, 2 figures had already arrived beside them. Xiaoyu and Murong Chan, with great tacit understanding, forcibly separated the two. And just then, a hurriedly arriving Yu Tianxing suddenly landed in the martial arts arena. Then he very seriously stated that he needed to inspect Wu Lingjin's body. After infusing profound qi into his eyes, Yu Tianxing was shocked to discover that an inner demon seed had been planted in Wu Lingjin's body. The boy had just entered his dorm room when he discovered the goddess was actually showering in his room and even started changing her clothes in front of him. Just now, Yu Qianxing discovered that an inner demon seed had been planted in Wu Lingjin. He immediately gritted his teeth and said, "Sima Yu, I will definitely not let you go." But then he felt it was very strange. So he asked the student, "Do you not feel any discomfort in your body?" Seeing Wu Lingjin say he was fine, he immediately felt something was wrong. The inner demon seed is fatal to every cultivator. How could he be completely unaffected? But he quickly realized. He said excitedly, "How could I have forgotten? You're an ordinary person with no spiritual root. This is great." Yu Tianxing immediately breathed a sigh of relief. With no spiritual qi in his body, it can't nourish the inner demon's growth. This is truly a blessing in disguise. Then, Yu Tianxing flew into the air and announced, "Attention, everyone. Although we've experienced some twists and turns, this assessment is now officially over. All students present will receive corresponding dormitory and class assignments based on their performance today. I have already infused all the arrangements into your admission tickets." Hearing this, Wu Lingjin took out his admission ticket. Some new information had appeared on it. Wu Lingjin, class ding, student ID 1, male dormitory number 8, bed 1. And Yu Tianxing announced again, "All students, return to your dormitories according to the assignments and prepare for tomorrow's classes." Hearing this, Xiaoyu immediately took Wu Lingjin's arm. "Brother Lingjin, let's go to the dorm now." But Wu Lingjin was a little confused. "Did the headmaster assign you a room?" But Xiaoyu smiled. "I'm not a student. How could I be assigned a room?" As your Tao protector, of course I have to sleep with you. Wu Lingjin immediately scratched his head. I remember there should be other roommates in the dorm, right? It's not really appropriate for you to live with us. This conversation was heard clearly by Zidi, who was not far away. Before long, Wu Lingjin and Xiaoyu finally arrived at the dormitory area. The location of male dormitory number 8 was much farther than Wu Lingjin had imagined, and Xiaoyu was already furious. That old pervert actually assigned you, Brother Lingjin, to such a remote location. Didn't he see how well you performed in the competition? Soon, Wu Lingjin found male dormitory number 8. He noticed a light was on inside. His roommate should have already arrived. So Wu Lingjin pushed the door open and said, "Hello, I'm also a roommate in male dormitory number 8. But to his shock, he found Zidi in the dorm room, wearing only a towel. Wu Lingjin immediately turned red, turned around, and closed the door. But he checked again and again, confirming that this was indeed male dormitory number 8. So he couldn't help but guess it must be because of what happened in the martial arts arena, that he was having a delusion. After making up his mind, Wu Lingjin pushed open the dorm door again. The next second, he was stunned. Zidi was really and truly inside the male dorm. He immediately turned around again and muttered, "Could I be under an illusion?" Just then, Zidi, who had already changed her clothes, pushed the door open. "No need to confirm. This is male dormitory number 8. Seeing this, Xiaoyu instantly exploded. "Why are you in Brother Lingen's dorm room?" But Zidi directly took out her admission ticket and said, "Zidi, Class Jia, student ID, male dormitory number 8, bed 2. Seeing the two were confused, Zidi explained, "The reason I'm in the same dorm as you is because I exchanged dorms with your original roommate. You should be enjoying the best female dormitory number 1 all by himself now." Wu Lingjin was stunned. "But why do you insist on living with me?" Zidi had already prepared an excuse for this. "You're the first person of my age who could defeat me. I must find out your method for getting stronger and learn it. For that, even living with you is no big deal." Now, it was Wu Lingen's turn to be embarrassed. After all, his real age was 2,000 years old. But Wu Lingjin still had some concerns. "It will be very troublesome for us to live together, right? Like what just happened." But Zidi said dismissively, "You can live with that fox spirit, so why not with me? Anyway, I will only observe quietly and won't cause you any trouble." But Xiaoyu jumped onto the bed at this moment and gestured, "Brother Lingjin, don't mind her. We still have class tomorrow. Hurry up and come to bed. It's been a long time since I've slept with Brother Lingjin. Besides, there's nowhere else to sleep here." But Wu Lingjin felt as if he was being stared at by something. Before long, after noticing that Zidi seemed to be asleep, Wu Lingjin secretly asked, "By the way, Xiaoyu, were the people who attacked the academy today really demonic cultivators? Their techniques didn't look the same as Dad's and the others." Xiaoyu's expression immediately changed as she said seriously, "Since they've appeared, there's no need for me to hide this secret from you anymore, Brother Lingjin. They aren't simple demonic cultivators. They're inner demons." While the boy was asleep, the girl actually secretly climbed into his bed in the middle of the night. Just now, Xiaoyu told Wu Lingjin about the existence of inner demons. And inner demons are produced by cultivators, so it's the biggest taboo in the entire cultivation world. But she found that Wu Lingjin had suddenly gone silent. It turned out Wu Lingjin had actually fallen asleep while she was explaining. However, Xiaoyu felt that knowing too much might not be a good thing for Wu Lingjin, so she soon fell asleep too. But just then, Zidi, who was sleeping soundly beside them, suddenly sat up. Then she stared intently at Wu Lingjin. Meanwhile, a high-level meeting was being held on Zhengyi Peak. Yu Qianxing also made Sima Yu's attack on Xian Tian Academy public. Everyone was shocked that the demon was still alive. He even injured Elder Yu and stole the sealed half of the secret technique. Right now, the Alliance must provide protection to Xian Tian Academy. But Yu Qianxing interrupted. "We can still gather our forces to eradicate the demonic cultivators. But now there's a more serious problem. That is, inner demons have already appeared in front of the students. The so-called inner demons are a collection of evil manifestations produced when a cultivator breaks through the limits of the heavenly Tao, stripping away their own impurities. Therefore, the more a cultivator cultivates, the more likely they are to produce an inner demon. To maintain the stability of the cultivation world, we sealed this secret. But Sima Yu's appearance has brought variables. How much longer can we maintain this his secret. The Great Elder was the first to speak. No matter what, the existing order cannot be destroyed. The Dean of Longting Academy, Shun Wei Wang, also chimed in. The Great Elder is right. In that case, let our Longting Academy assist in handling the matter of the inner demons. After all, we are both educational institutions of the Righteous Alliance. Of course, we should face difficulties together. The Great Elder nodded decisively. Then the task of preventing the news about inner demons from spreading will be left to Shen Wei Wang and Tianxing. The rest of you will search for the whereabouts of Sima Yu and the demonic cultivators. After everyone nodded in understanding, the meeting was declared over. But Shen Wei Wang muttered to himself, how can Xian Tian Academy, which was so easily invaded, be worthy of the title of the #1 righteous academy? Under my leadership, Longting Academy will definitely become the #1 in the righteous path. The night passed in a flash. Wu Lingjin slowly woke up. He felt that he had slept exceptionally well last night, but he suddenly discovered Zidi was on his bed. In an instant, Zidi let out a shriek. Bastard, why are you on my bed? But Xiaoyu got up from the floor and said angrily, you scheming woman, how dare you slander Brother Lingjin here? You were clearly the one who climbed onto Brother Lingjin's bed and even pushed me onto the floor. But Zidi loudly denied it. It must have been you who put me on the bed in the middle of the night. Wu Lingjin at the side quickly spoke up. Is there a possibility that you, Zidi, were sleepwalking and ended up on my bed? Hearing this, Zidi quickly waved her hands with a guilty conscience. Impossible. I don't have any habit of sleepwalking. Forget it. Today is the first day of class. We shouldn't be late. After speaking, Zidi was the first to get dressed and prepare to go to class. Seeing a group of people gathered at the dormitory door, Zidi immediately shouted, what are you all doing skulking around here? Seeing Zidi get angry, they immediately turned and ran without looking back. Afterwards, Zidi followed behind Wu Lingjin towards the classroom. But Wu Lingjin asked doubtfully, Zidi, it seems you're not in the same class as me, right? Is the classroom in the same direction? But Zidi said dismissively, anyway, there's not much a student can learn. It's more useful to observe you. Before long, the three of them arrived at the Class Ding schoolhouse. In the end, Zidi still came to class with them. As soon as Fatty entered, he said in surprise, Boss Lingjin, why are you in this class too? Classes are assigned based on performance in the previous assessment. The best students are assigned to Class Jia. Class Ding is the problem class for the worst students. Wu Lingjin was immediately disappointed. So that's how it is. My talent really can only get me assigned to the worst class. Just then, Instructor Mei suddenly shouted, all of you, shut up. You bunch of rascals, be quiet during class time. Fatty immediately whispered, I didn't expect Instructor Mei to be our class teacher. Seeing this, Instructor Mei immediately decided to make an example of Fatty. While throwing a notebook, he shouted, no whispering during class. But unexpectedly, Wu Lingjin caught the notebook. Then he said with an innocent face, I'm sorry, I caught it subconsciously. I really didn't mean to talk back to you. Seeing this, Instructor Mei thought to himself, making me look so bad on the first day. This kid is truly the worst of the worst. Then he directly announced, next will be your first class since entering Xiantian Academy. This is the Zhengyi Ju, the unified introductory qi refining technique of our Righteous Alliance. You now need to guide qi into your bodies according to the description in it. Zhengyi Ju is the safest and most stable cultivation technique developed by the Righteous Alliance. So, no matter what technique students at Xiantian Academy cultivated before, they must use Zhengyi Ju to guide qi here. Since you all have experience with qi refining, then within this class period, if you fail to guide qi into your body using Zhengyi Ju, I will expel you directly. At this moment, everyone except Wu Lingjin felt this was something that could be done in minutes. Wu Lingjin was already panicking. What should I do? This is a balloon that requires spiritual qi to be lifted. But unexpectedly, the boy smashed it hundreds of meters into the sky. Just now, Wu Lingjin had officially enrolled in Xiantian Academy, but he didn't expect the first class to be about guiding qi into the body. And Zidi, merely by glancing at Zhengyi Ju, easily succeeded in guiding qi into her body. Instructor Mei immediately praised Zidi for doing a good job. After seeing Wu Lingjin's panicked expression, he secretly gloated. This brat, without a spiritual root, it's completely impossible to guide qi into his body in one class period. and Xiaoyu also quickly tried to comfort him. Brother Ling Jin, don't push yourself too hard. Seeing Wu Ling Jin get into position, Zidi quickly took out her notebook to start taking notes. Soon, Wu Ling Jin felt a stream of qi appear in his body, but the next second, he suddenly let out a loud fart. Wu Ling Jin was instantly dejected. I really still can't feel it. Then he grabbed Zidi's shoulders and asked, how do you feel spiritual qi? Please teach me. Zidi had no choice but to demonstrate while explaining. Watch carefully. Imagine yourself as a water bottle and the spiritual qi as water. Feel the flow of water entering the bottle. Hearing this, Wu Ling Jin immediately closed his eyes and began to try. Soon he seemed to feel something, but unexpectedly, he still just let out another loud fart. Wu Ling Jin was instantly annoyed. Does entering Xiantian Academy still mean I can't succeed in guiding qi? Just then, Instructor Mei suddenly spoke. Those who have successfully guided qi shouldn't get too happy. See this spiritual qi ball? This was specially designed by the Righteous Alliance to train students. The more spiritual qi injected, the lighter it becomes. The spiritual qi ball must be infused with Zhengyi Ju, otherwise it will become heavier. Fill the spiritual qi ball with the Zhengyi Ju spiritual qi you've absorbed. This is your lesson for today. And Zidi and the others quickly picked up the spiritual qi balls from the ground. Instructor Mei muttered to himself, Brat, this spiritual qi ball can't be lifted by brute force alone. But Wu Ling Jin had already made up his mind. In order not to be kicked out of the academy, I must use all my strength. It has to lift. Meanwhile, Yu Qianxing, who was combing his hair, suddenly discovered a flying vessel appearing above the academy. He didn't expect the people from Longting Academy to arrive so quickly. The visitor was none other than the dean of Longting Academy, Shen Weiwang, and Yu Qianxing quickly landed on the flying vessel. He spoke first. Dean Shun, you came from so far without giving me a heads up? I haven't even prepared a welcoming ceremony for you. Shen Weiwang was dismissive. I wouldn't dare trouble Dean Yu. I just heard Xiantian Academy was in trouble, so I rushed over to help. But Yu Qianxing chuckled. To help, you even brought so many skilled experts in your flying vessel. Dean Shun, this is quite a grand gesture. Shen Weiwang immediately laughed heartily. When helping, one must naturally give it their all. Incidentally, I also hope to have a little exchange with the #1 Righteous Academy. Yu Tianxing immediately sneered. So that's your real purpose for coming here, isn't it? Just as the two were talking, a spiritual qi ball suddenly shot up from the ground. In the blink of an eye, it pierced through the massive flying vessel and then smashed directly into the cockpit. Staring at the large hole above his head, Wu Ling Jin instantly felt he was doomed. Instructor Mei exploded. What on earth are you doing? Do you know how much it costs to build a classroom? Yu Qianxing also sensed something was wrong. It can't be that kid causing trouble again, can it? Then he asked with concern, Dean Shun, are you alright? But Shen Weiwang was being stubborn. I'm a dean of Longting Academy. How can anything happen to me? To help cover for Wu Ling Jin, Yu Qianxing quickly replied, this probably has nothing to do with demonic cultivators. It should be a spiritual qi ball stored by our students that exploded. But Shen Weiwang snorted angrily. A fine spiritual qi ball explosion. In that case, let's have a competition with these spiritual qi balls. The girl actually let the boy grab her ball, but unexpectedly, the boy misunderstood. He was even worried he hurt her and wanted to help rub it. Just now, because of the spiritual qi ball Wu Ling Jin casually threw, an enraged Shen Weiwang proposed the decision to hold a spiritual qi ball competition. Yu Tianxing then gathered a few contestants and announced that the 5 of them, including Wu Ling Jin, would participate in this competition. However, Fatty raised a question. I can understand choosing the others. They're all top performers from the grand competition, but my strength is relatively weak. I'm afraid I'll bring shame to the academy if I participate. Seeing this, Wu Ling Jin was immediately reminded of himself in his past life. He immediately encouraged him, don't belittle yourself. I believe that as long as you work hard, there will be results. But Xiao Huahua sneered. If that were the case, you would have cultivated a spiritual root long ago. And Yu Qianxing also spoke up to explain at this moment. Tianji, your heavenly eye divine ability can predict the future which is a great advantage for the competition. But Wu Lingjin said he had a question. How exactly is the spiritual chi ball competition played? Hearing this, Ziti immediately explained. This kind of competition is a 5v5 match. You score by controlling the spiritual chi ball and shooting it into the gate in midair. During the match, cultivators from both sides cannot directly harm each other, but they can use spiritual chi to compete. Therefore, spiritual chi is crucial for the competition. Wu Lingjin instantly lost his confidence. It seems I can't be of much help in this competition. Yu Qianxing immediately said angrily, this competition is happening because of you. The match is set for 3 days from now. You all should practice a lot during this time, because this competition concerns the reputation of Xiantian Academy. If you win, I will reward each of you with a golden Xiantian medal. Seeing that Wu Lingjin didn't know what the Xiantian medal was, Yu Jiaxue explained, this is the highest honor for a student of Xiantian Academy. With this medal, you can receive double the cultivation resources. At this, Wu Lingjin was instantly delighted. Double resources? Doesn't that mean I'll have a better chance of succeeding in my cultivation? Then what are we waiting for? Let's start practicing now. But Xiao Huohui said coldly, I have no interest in practicing with someone who can't use spiritual qi. Yu Jiaxue was also uninterested. My family owns the entire academy. Double resources are meaningless to me. Seeing this, Ziti had no choice but to say, don't mind them. The two of us can still practice. The spiritual chi ball can accept spiritual chi infusions from multiple people at the same time. So, infusing more spiritual chi into the ball will give you a greater advantage in a confrontation. First, try to take the spiritual chi ball from my hands. As soon as her voice fell, Wu Lingjin immediately charged forward without hesitation. Ziti originally wanted to use this opportunity to learn Wu Lingjin's method of getting stronger, but she didn't expect Wu Lingjin's speed to be so fast that she couldn't react at all. However, Ziti didn't plan to let him succeed so easily. But unexpectedly, Wu Lingjin accidentally grabbed the wrong ball. Ziti was instantly dumbfounded and forgot to control the spiritual chi ball. Xiao Huohua's eyes widened in anger. And Wu Lingjin even considerately asked Ziti if it hurt and if she wanted him to rub it for her. Although Ziti felt it was actually not bad, the guys not far away were ruining the atmosphere. Soon, she collected her thoughts and said, all right, let's continue training. Just treat the gate formed by my spiritual swords as the goal and try practicing. Wu Lingjin felt the spiritual chi ball wasn't as heavy as he imagined. He just needed to practice his shooting accuracy. He was seen throwing the spiritual chi ball into the gate with great precision. But due to his excessive strength, the spiritual chi ball landed in a building not far away. And this ball once again hit Shen Wang. He immediately said coldly, provoking me twice in one day. It seems you really don't take my Longting Academy seriously. Seeing his disciple preparing to treat his wound, he immediately shouted, instead of worrying about me, you should better prepare for the competition in 3 days. This match, that old geezer and I have bet the future of our academies on it. Hearing this, Liang Zifeng immediately cupped his fists and said, I swear I will lead Longting Academy to victory. After leaving, he secretly swore that he must not disappoint his master, no matter the cost. Time quickly passed, and 3 days later arrived. After a long-winded speech from Shen Wang used the Great Earth and with divine art, creating a huge spiritual chi ball competition field out of thin air. The spiritual chi ball competition to decide the #1 academy finally began. But unexpectedly, Wu Lingjin and his team fell into a disadvantage. Just now, Shen Wang used the Great Earth and with divine art, actually creating a dueling arena out of thin air. Even Ziti was shocked to be able to instantly create such a large field. Just how immense must his spiritual chi be? Just then, Yu Qianxing suddenly announced for the contestants to get ready. Seeing both sides quickly enter the field, Yu Qianxing secretly prayed, hoping the little rascals would live up to expectations. The contestants from Xiantian Academy are Wu Lingjin, Yu Jiaxue, Xiao Huohua, and Ziti. And from Longting Academy are Zhu Shi, Li Luoying, Wan Ping, Zhen Lingyu, and Liang Zifeng. And Zhen Lingyu didn't forget to remind him, Senior brother, you have to perform well this time. Let them witness the strength of our Longting. Liang Zifeng replied with a determined face, I will definitely fulfill Master's long-held wish. But Wan Ping grinned and said, "Don't be nervous. We've trained for a long time for today. Those people from Xiantian Academy look like a bunch of useless fillers, especially that little fatty. He looks like a weakling at a glance." Hearing this, Ziti immediately gritted her teeth. These Longting people are too arrogant. But Wu Lingjin said seriously, "They do look well trained." Yu Jiaxue also nodded and explained, "That's right. These people are all elite talents from Longting's special training. They have long-term training experience and are undefeated in spiritual qi ball competitions among their peers." But Xiao Huahua said very confidently, "What's there to be afraid of? You still have me." After speaking, he directly declared war domineeringly. "People of Longting, listen up. I, Xiao Huahua, will definitely defeat you today. I swear on this Black Xian ruler." But Instructor Mei suddenly confiscated his weapon and said irritably, "The use of any spiritual qi magic treasures is forbidden in the spiritual qi ball competition." At this, the people from Longting instantly laughed. They didn't expect this group to not even know the rules of the competition. Then, Instructor Mei came to Wu Lingin's side and gestured, "You can't carry these things on you either." After finishing, Instructor Mei announced, "The match duration is 1 shurchen. There will be a quarter-hour break in the middle. The side with more goals wins. Everyone, please get ready. The spiritual qi ball competition now officially begins." Wu Lingjin immediately rushed out first. He felt he had to get the first ball to take the initiative. But unexpectedly, Xiao Huahua got in his way and started fighting him for it. But Liang Zifeng was one step ahead and snatched the ball away and tacitly passed the ball to Wan Ping. Fatty hurriedly moved forward to block him. But Wan Ping easily twisted past him and put the ball directly into the scoring zone. Ziti finally understood that the people from Longting were no simpletons. So she picked up the ball and reminded them the opponents are strong. No more infighting. I'll take the lead on offense this time. You all cover me. Ziti felt that her spiritual qi reserves should be the strongest among her peers. No one should be able to snatch the spiritual qi ball from her. But the people from Longting suddenly formed a defensive formation. But Xiao Huahua also leaped up at this moment, then used his strange fire to directly blast the three of them. The next second, Instructor Mei took out a yellow card and shouted, "Xiao Huahua of Xiantian Academy, malicious injury. Yellow card warning." Although Xiao Huahua committed a foul, it didn't affect Ziti's offense. She felt she could definitely score. Seeing that the opponent was underestimating him, Zhu Shi immediately took a bite of meat, then just stood there and let Ziti throw the ball. But unexpectedly, Zhu Shi instantly completed a transformation and firmly caught the spiritual qi ball. And a black shadow also rushed out at this moment, instantly catching the ball thrown by Zhu Shi. Then quickly passed it to Liang Zifeng. Instantly, Liang Zifeng entered a charging mode and forcefully knocked away Fatty and Yu Jiaxue, scoring another point. Then he laughed triumphantly. "I'll make sure you don't get a single point in this match." The boy faced the steady goalkeeper who could turn into a dragon and finally revealed his terrifying physical strength. Just now, Longting Academy had easily scored 2 points. An unconvinced Xiao Huahua immediately raised a question. Were we told we couldn't use items? Why can he eat so openly? But Instructor Mei stated that food does not count as an item. Murong Chan was suddenly a little annoyed. "If I had known, I would have brought some food for Ling Jin and the others." Everyone was clearly no match for Longting. The opposing team was scoring on them in turns like crazy. Yu Jiaxue and Fatty couldn't defend at all. The first half had just ended, and the score was 0-10. Everyone's spirits instantly sank into despair. After returning to the locker room, Ziti immediately cursed. "What are you all doing? It's one thing for Yu Jiaxue not to cooperate with his teammates, but Xiao Huahua is even making trouble for Ling Jin." But Yu Jiaxue and Xiao Huahua replied, "With such weak teammates, I can't cooperate." And their argument was overheard by the people from Longting. Liang Zifeng didn't expect Xiantian Academy to be so weak. Victory was now practically guaranteed. Wu Lingjin, who had been silent all along, suddenly spoke up. "Since we're not coordinating, let's just treat it as an individual match. No need for teamwork. Just focus on locking down your opponent one-on-one. Just look for an opportunity to score." Soon, the halftime break was over. Just as the match was about to begin, Murong-chan hurriedly threw all her food onto the field. Seeing this, Wu Ling-jin immediately rushed out and collected every last bit of it. Seeing that both sides were in position, the second half of the match officially began. And Longting's Wan Ping was the first to get the ball, but he found that the people below him weren't moving. He watched as Wan Ping charged rapidly towards the back. Yu Jiaxue clapped his hands together and used the great desolate earth art. Wan Ping had no choice but to pass the ball to Ling Yu. But Zidi also took the opportunity to use her spiritual chi sword transformation to block. Although she successfully blasted the spiritual chi ball out of Ling Yu's hands, the ball landed in Li Luoying's hands. However, Xiao Huahua's response was very timely. His strange fire came out and directly intercepted it. But Liang Zifeng was one step ahead and caught the ball. Now only Fatty was left. He wasn't afraid at all. But unexpectedly, Fatty activated his heavenly I Divine ability. And Wu Ling-jin also rushed to the front of the hoop at this moment, then firmly pressed down on the spiritual chi ball with both hands. He easily knocked Liang Zifeng away. With the help of Fatty's heavenly eye prediction, Wu Ling-jin easily got past everyone. Only the lizard transformed Zhu Shi remained in front of him. Wu Ling-jin then quickly gathered his strength and threw the spiritual chi ball with all his might. Although Zhu Shi caught the spiritual chi ball with both hands, the immense force attached to it directly knocked him down. With the cooperation of Wu Ling-jin and Fatty, they finally scored a point. But Longting's side also quickly adjusted. Liang Zifeng directly used an offensive formation to prepare for a rapid advance. But Wu Ling's speed was even faster than his. After snatching the ball, he once again broke the opponent's formation. Even the goalkeeper, Zhu Shi, was forcefully sent flying by him. He scored another spectacular point. Aided by the heavenly I Divine ability, Wu Ling-jin was like he was using a cheat. He completely disregarded the opposing goalkeeper. Soon, he brought the score back to 10-10. Shen Wei-wang was completely unsettled now. He couldn't help but shout, "You bastards! All of you, get your heads in the game." Liang Zifeng was so angry he gritted his teeth that I absolutely cannot let teacher lose the bet. It seems I have no choice but to use this power. After swallowing that purple thing, a strange purple glow immediately emanated from Liang Zifeng's body. Feeling the power surging within him, Liang Zifeng immediately laughed maniacally. Power! I can feel the power. The terrifying inner demon appeared once again and sent Wu Ling-jin flying with a single punch. Just now, Liang Zifeng had secretly taken a secret medicine, forcibly raising his power by a level. He knew he absolutely could not fully absorb its power. Just using a little should be enough to win. The match time is almost up. I can't give Xian Tian Academy any more chances. Meanwhile, Wu Ling-jin and Fatty felt that if things continued like this, they would definitely win the match. After instructor Mei served the ball, Xiao Huahua was the first to rush out and snatch the spiritual chi ball. In order not to let Wu Ling-jin keep stealing the show, he decided he had to score a goal himself. Seeing the opponent couldn't keep up with him, he immediately let out a cold laugh. Meanwhile, Wu Ling-jin analyzed rationally. The Longtung students' cultivation was already weaker than ours. Now, their spiritual chi is nearly depleted. Even if it's just Xiao Huahua alone, it will be hard for them to stop him. Before long, Xiao Huahua had rushed to the front of the goal, but Liang Zifeng suddenly used the great Uthwood divine art. An earthen wall that shot up from the ground instantly blocked Xiao Huahua. Liang Zifeng smoothly regained possession of the ball, but just as he was about to sprint, Wu Ling-jin blocked him again. He decisively used the rock-scale heavy armor, preparing to break through by force. But unexpectedly, Wu Ling-jin wasn't sent flying by his charge. He never imagined he would be stopped so easily. Seeing he couldn't win in a contest of strength, he very decisively used the great Uthwood divine art. As long as he could shake off Wu Ling-jin, no one could stop him. But then he found he couldn't move forward anymore. It turned out Wu Ling-jin had lifted up the stone pillar, and Fatty quickly signaled for Wu Ling-jin to throw Liang Zifeng towards their own goal. The next second, Liang Zifeng couldn't stop himself from heading toward his own goal. He knew that if this continued, he would definitely score an own goal. With no other choice, he once again forcibly activated the power within his body and used the stone armor giant art, forcibly increasing his weight. He first had the stone giant force Wu Ling-jin back, then want to take the opportunity to score. But Zidi and Yu Jiaxue also rushed out at this moment. Although both of them did their best to block, they were easily repelled by the stone armor giant. Seeing this, Fatty quickly shouted a reminder, "Attack the giant. That's the only way to stop him." Wu Lingjin hurriedly threw a full power punch, smashing it into the stone armor giant. The terrifying force instantly shattered the giant into dust. After landing, Liang Zifeng immediately cursed, "Damn it, why do you keep getting in my way?" Wu Lingjin replied with a serious face, "Because I want to win." In order to win, Liang Zifeng once again activated his profound qi and charged out. But Wu Lingjin stood firmly in front of him. The next moment, both of them fell backward at the same time. The spiritual qi ball was also sent flying. Wu Lingjin quickly took the opportunity to use an immortal art and take off from his spot, wanting to snatch the ball first. Seeing this, Liang Zifeng immediately gritted his teeth and said, "I absolutely cannot let teacher lose face." Instantly, a terrifying demonic qi burst out from his body. In just a moment, Liang Zifeng had already entered a demonic state. He then suddenly bent his body, and at the instant Wu Lingjin caught the ball, he flew in front of him. Then he threw a vicious punch that smashed into Wu Lingjin, sending both him and Fatty flying. The boy not only took the full force blow of the inner demon with his physical body, but also prevented others from intervening, determined to win the match. Just now, Liang Zifeng completely entered a demonic state and sent Wu Lingjin flying with a single punch. He was too desperate for victory. He grabbed the spiritual qi ball and charged towards the goal. But Wu Lingjin, for the sake of cultivation resources, had no intention of giving up. So he charged out again, determined not to let Liang Zifeng get this final point. Liang Zifeng was completely enraged now. He directly smashed the spiritual qi ball into his body. A terrifying energy explosion instantly erupted on the field. But Wu Lingjin stubbornly blocked the ball with his body. Even as he coughed up blood, he had no intention of retreating a single step. Seeing this, Xiaoyu was instantly enraged and wanted to rush in. But Wu Lingjin shouted, "Stay out. The match isn't over yet." After speaking, he puffed out his chest and took the opportunity to snatch the spiritual qi ball. Now Liang Zifeng was completely dumbfounded. He never expected Wu Lingjin to be this strong. And Wu Lingjin decisively and quickly raised his hand and fiercely threw the spiritual qi ball towards the opponent's goal. Although the opposing goalkeeper caught the ball, he couldn't withstand the force on it at all and was sent flying. The watching crowd was instantly so shocked their jaws dropped. You must know, even a nascent soul stage cultivator couldn't use such powerful spiritual qi. And at that moment, the match officially ended. Xiantian Academy defeated Longting Academy 11-10. Liang Zifeng was stunned. He never thought he would lose the match in front of his teacher. And Yu Qianxing quickly spoke up to remind him, "Your disciple has been corrupted by an inner demon." But Shen Weiwang suddenly spat out a mouthful of blood. Then he said in frustration, "I always strictly demanded him to act with caution. Why did it still turn out like this?" But Yu Qianxing said meaningfully, "Perhaps it's because you were too strict." And this outcome was clearly unacceptable to Liang Zifeng. An even more powerful demonic qi instantly erupted from his body, instantly stepping into the golden core stage of cultivation. Seeing this, Yu Qianxing was stunned. It's an inner demon formed from breaking through to the golden core stage. He's really beyond saving now. "Instructor Mei, I still have to take care of old Shen. You go stop him quickly." Hearing this, Instructor Mei immediately leaped onto the field and decisively activated his punching bag sacred body, taking Liang Zifeng's heavy punch head-on. But unexpectedly, with just one punch, Instructor Mei actually fainted. Then Liang Zifeng shouted, "The match isn't over. Continue." At this moment, Xiaoyu and Murong Chan also rushed onto the field, declaring they would protect Wu Lingjin. Seeing people coming to stop him from achieving victory, Liang Zifeng directly slapped his hand on the ground. The great Uthwood divine art instantly condensed countless weapons that attacked the crowd. In just an instant, everyone except Wu Lingjin was firmly pressed to the ground. Seeing that the nuisances had been dealt with, Liang Zifeng immediately lifted Wu Lingjin and sneered, "Until I win, you must continue to compete with me." Ling Yu at the side saw this and quickly hugged his arm, persuading him, "Eldest senior brother, it's just one loss. Don't force yourself like this. But Liang Zifeng directly threw her off and said angrily, "It's because of you trash that I lost the match. Now the people in our way are gone. I want to have a one-on-one match with you." The boy, in order not to waste any more time, finally activated his clothes-ripping mode and chose to act directly. Just now, the demonized Liang Zifeng actually demanded a one-on-one fight with Wu Lingjin, although the people from Longteng wanted him to regain his senses. Liang Zifeng directly told them to shut up, then told Wu Lingjin to continue the match with him. However, Zidi and the others prepared to join forces to stop him, but Xiao Huahua hid in the shadows, not planning to intervene, because he felt that only if Wu Lingjin died could he become the true chosen one. Although Zidi used her sword control art with all her might, a golden core stage cultivation was not something they could fight. The great Uthwood divine art made it completely impossible for anyone to get close. Since her weapon had been confiscated, she was at a loss for a moment. Zidi had no choice but to ask instructor Mei to return her spiritual sword. But Liang Zifeng impatiently used a rock python, directly sending the two of them flying. But at this moment, Xiaoyu quietly rushed in front of him. She directly used the spiritual spell, bewitching bone demonic sound, then transmitted via spiritual sense. "You still have a chance to turn back now. If you let your inner demon run rampant, you'll never have a chance to turn back. Think carefully. There are many important things in this world. Don't get lost because of a moment of extremism." As soon as her voice fell, Liang Zifeng immediately erupted with demonic chi again and roared, "I want to win. That is the most important thing." Then he once again used the great Uthwood divine art, using an earthen wall to forcibly block off a narrow path. Even Zidi was completely unable to break through this earthen wall. And a straight rock wall was very high, with no footholds to climb, and Liang Zifeng urged impatiently, "The annoying guys have all been cleared away. Hurry up and continue the match with me, until I achieve victory." Hearing this, Wu Lingjin shakily picked up the spiritual chi ball, but because his body was in too much pain, he fell directly to his knees. Seeing this, Liang Zifeng instantly laughed. "It seems I overestimated you after all. In that case, just watch obediently as I win." But Wu Lingjin said firmly, "Sorry, I have to win this match too." And Liang Zifeng couldn't be bothered with nonsense, directly using the solid earth cage. After trapping Wu Lingjin, he snatched away the spiritual chi ball. At this moment, Wu Lingjin suddenly spoke. "The match between the academies is over now, right? Since it's over, I can also make my move directly." As soon as his voice fell, Wu Lingjin immediately shot up, activating his clothes-ripping mode. Seeing this, Liang Zifeng was instantly horrified. "How is this possible? Stop bluffing. Take my 1,000-hand combo." As soon as his voice fell, several stone arms immediately shot up from the ground, smashing towards Wu Lingjin. In an instant, Wu Lingjin's position was wildly bombarded by stone fists. Seeing this scene, Liang Zifeng immediately laughed out loud. "That I thought you had some skill. Weren't you taken care of in one move?" But Wu Lingjin was completely unharmed. He said with an indifferent face, "My apologies. I don't really want to waste time. So, let's end this farce." After speaking, Wu Lingjin suddenly broke free from the rock restraints and directly used a full-power immortal art punch. Caught off guard, Liang Zifeng was immediately smashed in the face by the punch. Even with his golden core stage cultivation, he couldn't withstand it at all. He was sent flying by the punch, smashing violently into the huge rock wall nearby. The Dean of Longting actually moved to kill his own beloved disciple, but unexpectedly, the boy stepped in to stop him. Just now, Wu Lingjin used a full power punch to send Liang Zifeng flying. But this punch also completely exhausted his strength. His body couldn't stop trembling and he fell backward. It turned out he was so hungry his legs went weak and he had no strength left. And Murong Chan quickly took out a large chicken leg and walked over, frantically stuffing it into Wu Lingjin's mouth. Zidi didn't expect that the personal disciple of the Dean of Longting Academy would actually be possessed by a demonic cultivator. An instructor Mei suddenly appeared beside the three and reassured them. "With this instructor here, there's no need to fear even a demonic cultivator. Don't think you're so great just because you got a lucky sneak attack on this instructor earlier." As soon as his voice fell, Liang Zifeng suddenly shot up from the ground. but was easily caught by Instructor Mei. But unexpectedly, Liang Zifeng suddenly felt his stomach churn and directly vomited all over Instructor Mei's face. Enraged, he immediately sent Liang Zifeng flying with a punch. The moment Liang Zifeng fell to the ground, that strange crystal suddenly grew arms and legs and tried to run away. But Xiao Yu suddenly flashed out and caught it, then frowned slightly and said, as expected, it's another artificially induced inner demon. She then immediately burned the crystal to ashes. And the people from Longteng, seeing Liang Zifeng return to normal, hurriedly went forward to help him up. Shen Weiwang also descended from the high platform. Seeing this, Ling Yu quickly urged, Master, you've come at the right time. Please heal eldest senior brother quickly. But Shen Weiwang just stood quietly to the side. Then he asked in a serious tone, why did you do this? Liang Zifeng said bluntly, I didn't want to lose. And I didn't want to disappoint you, Master. Even if there's no turning back, I didn't want to see teacher lose the bet. Hearing this, Shen Weiwang immediately sighed. There's a reason why Longting Academy has always been inferior to Xiantian Academy, taking you away from me. After speaking, Shen Weiwang used the great Uthwood divine art to condense a giant sword. Then he asked again, for the sake of our master-disciple relationship, tell me who gave you that thing, and I'll give you a quick death. Liang Zifeng immediately told the truth. That person wore a mask. I don't know who he is, but he told me that the spirit pill could instantly increase my strength. Hearing this, Yu Qianxing immediately spoke up. That person must be Sima Yu. And Shen Weiwang said in a somber tone, I was just mocking you for having problems in your academy. I never thought my own disciple had long been infiltrated by demonic cultivators. I will teach you again in your next life. At this critical moment, a pair of hands suddenly caught the giant sword. Seeing Wu Lingjin catch his weapon with his bare hands, Shen Weiwang couldn't help but say in surprise, to be able to catch my full power strike. What kind of monster has this Xian Tian Academy raised? But Wu Lingjin smiled sheepishly. Sorry about that. I got excited for a moment and rushed up to stop you. Shen Weiwang said irritably. He became a demonic cultivator and even wanted to kill you. You don't seem to have a reason to stop me. But Wu Lingjin said sincerely, even when he was demonized, the only things he thought about were competing with me and not disappointing his master. It doesn't seem like he wanted to hurt anyone. Just because his desire to win is a bit strong, you want to kill him. I don't think that's right. Hearing this, Shen Weiwang immediately sighed. This time, I have lost completely and utterly. Abetisabet. From this day on, Longting Academy will be a branch campus of Xiantian Academy. As for this demonic cultivator, I'll leave him for your Xiantian Academy to handle. Hearing this, Yu Qianxing patted his shoulder, then slapped him across the face that you're just handing me a hot potato, aren't you? Now with this Liang Zifeng, there are already 3 unstable factors in the academy. Is the appearance of inner demons really unstoppable? Then, Yu Qianxing said seriously, since Longting has become a branch campus of Xiantian Academy, you must obey this headmaster's orders. My first order is to move the entire Longting Academy to Xiantian Academy. A girl actually forced her way into the headmaster's office, just to participate in a mission with the boy. Just now, Yu Qianxing issued the order to move Longting Academy to Xiantian. Shen Weiwang was very confused by this, not knowing what Yu Qianxing was planning. And Yu Qianxing also gave an explanation. The reason I want you to move here is naturally to make it convenient to monitor everyone affected by inner demons. If we don't control the situation more strictly, our students, the future of the righteous path, will be completely infiltrated by demonic cultivators. So placing all the students under our noses is the best solution right now. At the same time, Xiao Yu, who had come to claim a reward, had already arrived outside the door. She kicked the door open domineeringly and shouted, Old man Yu, it's time to give us the promised reward. But unexpectedly, the kick sent the door flying and knocked Yu Qianxing over. Seeing this, Wu Lingjin quickly went forward to help him up. But Xiao Yu said impatiently, Hurry up and give us the promised reward. You didn't forget, did you? You said we'd get a golden medal for winning the match. And Wu Lingjin also said a bit embarrassedly, I heard the golden medal could be exchanged for anything you want. Can I ask for more cultivation resources? Hearing this, Yu Qianxing immediately began to ponder secretly. If Wu Ling Jin breaks through because of the resources I give him, leading to an inner demon outbreak, that would be bad. So he sighed and said, that condition is no problem. But the academy was just attacked by demonic cultivators, and we really can't give out any more spirit stones. If you really want spirit stone resources, we in Longting Academy have actually discovered a large spirit stone mine recently. Unfortunately, it's overrun with demonic beasts. The disciples we sent to mine the spirit or all died tragically at the hands of the demonic beasts. So, the situation is so serious. You should give up, right? How about you change your condition? Seeing the two of them actually turn to leave, Yu Qianxing was stunned that you're leaving without changing your condition. But Wu Ling Jin said with a grin, no need to change it. We'll go to the spirit mine now. Yu Qianxing was instantly flustered. That spirit mine has quite a few demonic beasts, and demonic cultivators love to subdue demonic beasts for their own use. You must think this through carefully. But at this moment, Ziti suddenly kicked the door open and interrupted, no need to consider it. Since it can attract demonic cultivators, we must eradicate them. Recently, the demonic cultivators have repeatedly provoked and attacked righteous path cultivators. They are so rampant. We must hunt them down and kill them all. Don't you think I'm right? But why isn't Headmaster Yu giving me an answer? Wu Ling Jin was instantly embarrassed at UM. He's pinned under you. Immediately, Yu Qianxing got up and roared, I just had that door fixed and you broke it again. Mining spirit or on your own is too dangerous for you. I don't agree to you going on your own. At this moment, Shen Weiwang suddenly patted his shoulder and then said in a low voice, I think letting them go mine the spirit or isn't a bad idea. But Yu Qianxing was very worried. They all have inner demon seeds in them. Letting them go is sending them straight into the tiger's den of the demonic cultivators. But Shen Weiwang proposed a suggestion, since the demonic cultivators have their eyes on them. Why don't we use this to our advantage? We can use these children as bait to lure out Sima Yu, and then capture them all in one fell swoop. Huang Luhong has recently developed a teleportation compass. If there's danger, we could just teleport over with reinforcements immediately. Hearing this, Yu Qianxing took out a few compasses and said, since you want to explore the spirit mine, take these compasses with you. If you encounter demonic cultivators, you must contact us. After taking the compass, Ziti said excitedly, let's set off now to slay demons. But Yu Qianxing was still a little worried. Just letting the three of them go is still a bit too dangerous, isn't it? But Shen Weiwang signaled, don't worry. I will naturally send people over as well. The ones who were dispatched were none other than Liang Zifeng and Ling Yu. Ziti was instantly confused. Why do we have to go mine spirit or with them? I don't feel safe acting with people who are so easily controlled by demonic cultivators. Hearing this, Xiao Yu couldn't help but silently retort, weren't you also controlled before? And Liang Zifeng suddenly spoke with a sincere face, I was possessed before. So this time, Master hopes I can atone for my crimes with meritorious deeds. Especially for what I did to Wu Ling Jin before, I am truly very sorry. Seeing Wu Ling Jin remain silent, Liang Zifeng said dejectedly, I knew it. I knew you wouldn't forgive me so easily. But unexpectedly, Wu Ling Jin suddenly vomited all over the ground in front of him, then said with a weak face, sorry, I get motion sickness. The boy publicly exposed the fact that he was living with two great beauties. This slick move instantly stunned everyone present. Just now, Wu Ling Jin couldn't stop vomiting due to motion sickness. Ling Yu was very confused by this, that you're a cultivator, aren't you? How can you get sick from riding in a carriage? Wu Ling Jin couldn't exactly say it was a side effect of his transmigration, so he smiled sheepishly, it's my problem. How about I just run behind the carriage? Hearing this, everyone got back into the carriage, and Wu Ling Jin followed closely behind. Ling Yu immediately sneered, are all you people from Xian Tian Academy so boastful? This carriage is pulled by 1,000 gallop spirit horses. When it runs, even a nascent soul cultivator might not be able to catch up. Wu Ling Jin actually said he would follow behind. If that's not boasting, what is? But when she looked behind the carriage, she was stunned to find Wu Ling Jin had actually kept up with the carriage. Xiao Yu immediately said smugly, Brother Lingen's physical fitness is beyond your imagination. Seeing this, Bai Di couldn't help but mutter to herself, is Wu Ling Jin so strong because he always trains like this? Thinking of this, Bai Di jumped right off the carriage, saying she also wanted to cultivate this way. She felt that as long as she trained like Wu Ling Jin, she could sooner or later possess that terrifying strength. But after running for just a short while, Bai Di was already out of breath. Seeing this, Wu Lingjin quickly advised, "Why don't you get back in the carriage?" Ling Yu also chimed in with a tease, "I have no problem with you running after him, but at this pace, we might not even reach the mine in a month." Bai Di was cracking at this point. "I'm clearly the greatest genius in the history of sword-wielding peak. How can I not be able to train like Wu Lingjin?" Then Wu Lingjin suddenly said, "If you really want to run with me, I have an idea. If I lift the entire carriage like this, the speed will slow down a bit. It won't be so strenuous for you to follow." Seeing this, Bai Di's heart fluttered. He's considering my feelings. To think he could come up with such a method. But Wu Lingjin interrupted at an opportune moment. "What are you standing there for? Hurry and keep up." Hearing this, Bai Di immediately quickened her pace. This little difficulty couldn't stop her from getting stronger. And Wu Lingjin also praised her. "That's it, keep the rhythm. You have a talent for fitness." Just like that, the two of them kept running. But what Wu Lingjin didn't notice was that he had entered the intersection to Lushui town. After running for a long time, Wu Lingjin suddenly heard shouts telling him to stop. Wu Lingjin immediately looked at Bai Di, but Bai Di said she could still keep running. But Ling Yu couldn't take it anymore. "You two are fine, but we've already thrown up the food we ate the day before yesterday." Seeing this, Wu Lingjin quickly put the carriage down. After recovering, Liang Zifeng quickly suggested finding an inn to rest. Ling Yu also took out a map and said as she walked, "At our speed, there should be a town nearby. If we didn't take a wrong turn, we should be in Fuyun City now." But what appeared before them was Lushui town. Ling Yu instantly cracked that what's going on? We took the wrong road. Wu Lingjin immediately exclaimed, "We must have taken the wrong fork in the road earlier." Liang Zifeng didn't dwell on it either, deciding to find an inn to rest first. Upon finding an inn, he decisively said he wanted to get 2 rooms. As the attendant led the way, Wu Lingjin said his goodbyes. "Well, we'll go rest first. See you tomorrow." But Liang Zifeng suddenly stopped him. "Wait a minute. With 2 rooms, shouldn't the men and women stay separately? Why are you going upstairs with them?" Wu Lingjin was speechless. "Because the 3 of us have always lived together." Now, both Liang Zifeng and Ling Yu were stunned. They couldn't figure out what the relationship between the 3 of them was at all. As soon as Wu Lingjin entered the room, he took out a large chicken leg. "This is food from senior sister Moro. Want some?" Seeing that Bai Di wasn't hungry, he continued to exercise while eating the chicken leg. But just then, Bai Di suddenly interrupted. "Wu Lingjin, is your way of getting stronger really this so-called exercise?" The girl diligently practiced the fitness method taught by the boy, but unexpectedly, it drew out the inner demon within her body. Just now, Bai Di tried to use Wu Lingjin's method to cultivate, but it had no effect at all. Wu Lingjin could only say helplessly that it might be his own constitution, which was rather special. But Bai Di bowed solemnly and said, "No matter what, I will not give up the chance to become stronger. Please, you must teach me the way to become stronger." Seeing this, Wu Lingjin was helpless that don't be like this. It's really just simple fitness exercises. It's not hard to learn, but persisting is very difficult. And he threw the dumbbell in his hand for Bai Di to catch. But as soon as the dumbbell was in her hands, Bai Di found that she couldn't lift it at all. Her face immediately turned sour as she said, "How can it be so heavy? Do you always use such heavy tools for your training?" But Wu Lingjin said proudly, "Of course not. The tools I use are even heavier. If you think it's too heavy, then just forget it. After all, you probably can't learn my method of training." But Bai Di struggled to lift the dumbbell and said firmly, "I will absolutely not let the gap between us widen again. In any aspect. See, for a genius like me, there's nothing I can't learn." Wu Lingjin immediately praised her. "Not bad. That's 1 rep in the set. You have 19 more to go." Bai Di was instantly filled with despair. "Is there really no way for me to get stronger faster?" Wu Lingjin asked with great curiosity, "You're already strong enough. Why are you so obsessed with getting stronger?" Bai Di immediately gritted her teeth and said, "Actually, my mother died at the hands of a demonic cultivator. And it was the same demonic cultivator who appeared on the martial stage that day." Hearing this, Wu Lingjin quickly whispered to Xiao Yu, "I remember the one on the stage that day wasn't a demonic cultivator. That was Bai Di's own inner demon, right?" Wu Lingjin was completely shocked. "Doesn't that mean the one who killed Bai Di's mother was?" He then quickly apologized. "I'm sorry for bringing up your sad past." But Bai Di said firmly, "It's fine. It's been a long time. But from that day on, I swore to use this sword in my hand to slay all the demonic cultivators in the world. I originally thought that with my genius, I could definitely achieve this goal. Until you appeared, you made me realize that there are always people better than you. If I can't even defeat you, someone of the same age, how can I defeat all the demonic cultivators in the world? And I always have a feeling that demonic cultivator will appear again. Seeing this, Wu Lingjin quickly turned around and said, then you continue training to get stronger. We're going to rest first. Seeing Bai Di start to lift the dumbbell desperately, Xiaoyu quickly whispered, Brother Lingjin, it seems that woman has found the wrong target for revenge. Wu Lingjin quickly gestured for her to be quiet. Don't let Bai Di hear. If she knew she was the one who caused her mother's death, she would definitely be devastated. Then, the two of them went straight to bed to rest. But Bai Di was still gritting her teeth and persisting. She had already lifted it 19 times. Seeing that she was about to reach her goal, she became excited. But just then, her strong obsession caused her inner demon to appear again. But she didn't notice it and continued to train desperately. Xiaoyu immediately sensed the demonic energy in the room. After getting up, she quickly warned, Brother Lingjin, don't sleep anymore. It's the inner demon. Wu Lingjin was instantly flustered. How could an inner demon appear again? Could it be that Sima Yu is here? Xiaoyu directly pointed out the key issue that IT should just be that Bai Di's obsession with getting stronger is too intense. We must tell her the truth now. That way, she won't be blinded by her obsession. But Wu Lingjin stopped her. Wait, that will be too cruel for her. Let me handle her inner demon. Hearing this, Xiaoyu could only sigh to herself. Brother Lingjin is still such a bleeding heart. After discovering the two, the inner demon immediately raised its hand to attack. But Wu Lingjin easily dodged it, then raised his leg and delivered a full-force kick to its face. The immense power instantly blasted through the entire inn. Seeing the huge hole smashed in the building, he immediately regretted it that I used too much force. I'll probably have to pay a lot for this. And Liang Zifeng, who happened to be staying downstairs, was now completely furious. Can someone tell me what's going on? The boy's goddess was invaded by an inner demon, but he couldn't strike the inner demon too heavily. Thus, he was trapped in a helpless situation. Just now, because Bai Di's desire to become stronger was too intense. Her inner demon appeared again, although Wu Lingjin suppressed it immediately. He didn't expect that due to using too much force, he had shattered the entire inn. But the inner demon was not so easily defeated. Wu Lingjin quickly signaled for the innkeeper to run, but just then, the inner demon charged at him again. But unexpectedly, an earth wall shot up from the ground and blocked the attack. It turned out that Liang Zifeng had acted in time. However, he was very shocked by the appearance of the inner demon. Can you tell me what's going on? But the inner demon used the sword-wielding art, condensing countless demonic swords to attack everyone again. Seeing this, Wu Lingjin quickly signaled, I can't explain it right now. Quickly used the great Uthwood divine art to protect everyone. Liang Zifeng also knew how powerful demonic cultivators were. He quickly used a giant pyramid seal to control the inner demon. This is the strongest sealing art he can use right now. Even a golden core stage cultivator would find it hard to break through. But Wu Lingjin was cracking up. You protected them very well. But what's the deal with sealing me inside with it? Seeing this, Xiaoyu quickly came forward to persuade him. Brother Lingjin, with your strength, you can definitely break the seal. Hurry and get out. But Wu Lingjin firmly refused. If I break the seal, that it will only let the inner demon hurt more people. So, let me be the one to solve all this. The enraged inner demon immediately brandished its demonic energy wildly. Countless streams of demonic energy instantly enveloped Wu Lingjin. But Wu Lingjin wasn't flustered at all. Using both hands, he grabbed all the demonic energy. Then he used the immortal art, super high-speed jump rope. Afterwards, Wu Lingjin chuckled. Didn't you want to train with me before? As soon as he said this, the furious inner demon immediately rushed towards Wu Lingjin. But the super high-speed jump rope frantically struck the inner demon's body. In the blink of an eye, the demonic energy ropes had entangled it. But the inner demon suddenly raised a giant hand, then abruptly slashed a blade of demonic energy at Wu Lingjin. However, Wu Lingjin's immortal art, twisting body movement, dodged all the demonic energy. Luckily, he dodged fast enough. Otherwise, getting hit would have definitely hurt a lot. But unexpectedly, this demonic energy damaged the ceiling pyramid. Wu Lingjin instantly cracked, Didn't you say this seal was hard to break? Liang Zifeng was a bit helpless. This demonic cultivator's strength is definitely beyond the golden core stage. Don't worry, as my master successor, I can fix this small gap very quickly. Great Uthwood divine art, putty filling technique. In a second, that huge gap that was filled back in by the divine art. But the excess putty splattered directly onto Wu Lingjin. But before he could complain, the inner demon had already rushed in front of him again. With a quick wave of its hand, another surge of demonic energy came. It was too late for him to dodge now. He quickly used barehanded blade catch to intercept it. Then, with a sudden exertion of force from both hands, he flung the demonic blade aside. Although he successfully slammed the inner demon against the ceiling pyramid, this blow once again smashed a large hole in the ceiling pyramid. And Liang Zifeng was very helpless and could only frantically channel his spiritual energy to fill the gap. But after just a moment, he became unsteady. He didn't expect to run low on spiritual energy after using the great Uthwood divine art just a few times. Ling Yu was now heartbroken. Can you stop letting that monster cause more damage? Eldest senior brother's spiritual energy consumption is too great. Now Wu Lingjin was in a difficult position. He couldn't break the seal and let the inner demon harm more innocent people, nor could he strike the inner demon too heavily, as that might harm Bai Di. What on earth should I do? With no other options, he could only use his body to face the inner demon's attack. Xiaoyu is now burning with anxiety. Brother Lingjin, since it's an inner demon, then you, Brother Lingjin, have a way to deal with it. Don't forget your own identity. As soon as she said this, Wu Lingjin was momentarily stunned. My identity. I'm from the demon clan. To seal the inner demon, the boy, that actually swallowed a hole. But he never expected that Bai Di would actually try to kill him. Just now, Wu Lingjin was in a passive situation while fighting the inner demon. But at the critical moment, Xiaoyu suddenly reminded him not to forget his identity. But Wu Lingjin was speechless. My identity as a Xian Tian Academy student? It won't be scared even if I say that. Xiaoyu had no choice but to remind him via voice transmission. Brother Lingjin, don't forget that you're the young master of the demonic cult. As long as you seal the inner demon into your own body, you can solve this problem. But Wu Lingjin was in a difficult position. But I've never cultivated demonic arts. Can I really suppress the inner demon? Unexpectedly, Xiaoyu told him to trust his bloodline. Seeing that this couldn't go on, Wu Lingjin had no choice but to risk it. After dodging the inner demon's crisscrossing sword energy, Wu Lingjin quickly used a catapult start to rush towards the inner demon. But his kick created a gap in the ceiling pyramid. And Xiaoyu also quickly transformed into a three-tailed demon fox and slipped through the gap into the ceiling pyramid. She wanted to help Wu Lingjin seal this inner demon. But Xiaoyu discovered that Wu Lingjin was actually being overpowered by the inner demon. She quickly went forward and helped him up. Brother Lingjin, how could you be hurt by something like this? Wu Lingjin replied helplessly, I have no choice. If I use my full strength. Punto il definitely urt baidi. Xiaoyu was very displeased and charged directly at the inner demon. She wanted to separate them to deal with them. The moment she charged out, she suddenly used Spirit Fox Phantom. But unexpectedly, the inner demon raised a demonic energy shield to block the attack. Xiaoyu had no other way. She had to signal Wu Lingjin to get rid of that troublesome shield, and Wu Lingjin instantly rushed in front of the shield. He suddenly grabbed the shield with both hands and, using a snatch grip, lifted it right up. Taking this opportunity, Xiaoyu quickly manipulated the Spirit Fox Phantom to surge towards Bai Di. It quickly wrapped around her body. Then she shouted loudly to Wu Lingjin, Brother Lingjin, let's use our strength together. Hearing this, Wu Lingjin immediately understood. He lifted the shield high up. The moment the inner demon was flung away by the immense force, Xiaoyu quickly increased her strength and pulled Bai Di out. Seeing this, Wu Lingjin quickly turned his head and signaled, I'll deal with the inner demon. You protect Bai Di. With no more restraints, Wu Lingjin raised his hand and launched a super high-speed spiral ascension. He directly slammed the inner demon onto the top of the ceiling pyramid. Without the restraint of Bai Di, Wu Lingjin planned to have a proper contest of strength with the inner demon. He stomped his foot and, with a standing high jump, instantly charged at the inner demon. But unexpectedly, the inner demon used one sword to cleave the heavens at this moment. Seeing this, Xiao Yu quickly shouted a reminder, "Brother Ling Jin, be careful. You must get close to it. Only then can you seal it with your demonic cultivator body." But what the two of them didn't notice was that Bai Di had suddenly woken up at this moment. Wu Ling Jin had already gathered all his strength and used one force to break all dermis. With just one punch, he blasted through the inner demon's body. The originally unbreakable ceiling pyramid was also shattered by the force of the punch. Seeing this, Xiao Yu quickly reminded him, "Brother Ling Jin, now's the chance. Seal it." Hearing this, Wu Ling Jin quickly gathered all the surrounding demonic energy, then used the immortal art, dough kneading technique, to knead it into a ball. After kneading the inner demon into the size of a bun, he stuffed it directly into his mouth, swallowing it down. After finishing, Wu Ling Jin was a bit dazed. This should be how it's sealed, right? But it tasted weird going down. However, just then, a sharp sword was suddenly placed against his neck. It turned out the one with the sword was the just awakened Bai Di. With a serious face, she suddenly asked Wu Ling Jin, "That you're a demonic cultivator, right?" The boy never would have imagined that he would be pinned to the ground and beaten by his goddess. Just now, Bai Di discovered that Wu Ling Jin was a demonic cultivator. Faced with her questioning, Wu Ling Jin panicked. "What nonsense are you talking about? I'm just a young student without even a spiritual root. What connection could I have with demonic cultivators?" But Bai Di angrily rebuked, "Stop lying to me. Although I was controlled by the demonic cultivator just now, my consciousness was still clear. I heard the conversation between you and that fox spirit. You are clearly the young master of the demonic cult. I finally understand. The reason I couldn't train like you before is because these are all demonic cultivator moves, right? You clearly knew that I hate demonic cultivators the most. Was it fun to hide it and toy with me? As expected, all demonic cultivators are the same. A bunch of monsters who only bring pain to others. I will be the one to end your life." Although Wu Ling Jin dodged this sword strike, Bai Di wouldn't listen to his explanation at all, frantically swinging her sword at him. Seeing that she couldn't touch Wu Ling Jin at all, Bai Di decisively used the heartless sword from the deliberate sword art. The space here was too narrow, hindering Wu Lingen's evasion. He had no choice but to escape first and figure things out later. He then decisively used the flower hand helicopter to ascend quickly. He was just about to get out, but unexpectedly, the gap was suddenly blocked. With the exit blocked, Wu Ling Jin could only descend helplessly. But Bai Di once again slashed at him with the heartless sword. Wu Ling Jin had no other choice now but to use barehanded blade catch to block it. But he discovered that his arm was actually starting to turn black. Seeing this, Bai Di immediately smiled. "The heartless sword is the materialization of my inner resolve. The despair in my heart will also be transmitted to everything around through this sword." Wu Ling Jin felt his hand losing strength. Seeing that he couldn't remain in this stalemate, he decisively threw Bai Di up. This throw immediately slammed Bai Di onto the top of the pyramid. The just prepared pyramid top was instantly blown open. But before Wu Ling Jin could catch his breath, Bai Di charged back again. As the long sword in her hand fell, Wu Ling Jin was instantly stabbed and pinned to the ground. With a look of resolve, Bai Di pulled out the long sword. Her eyes filled with tears as she said, "Although you took good care of me before, I'm sorry. All demonic cultivators deserve to die." As soon as her voice fell, the long sword in Bai Di's hand immediately stabbed towards Wu Lingen's neck. But just then, a foxtail suddenly appeared out of nowhere, blocking this fatal strike for Wu Ling Jin. Seeing this, Bai Di immediately snorted coldly at its you. "You fox spirit who hangs out with demonic cultivators. As expected, you're no good either." But before she could finish, Xiao Yu flew in front of her. She landed a huge slap right across her face, then quickly used her foxtail to tightly choke her neck. She cursed out loud with a face full of indignation. Even though Brother Ling Jin is a demonic cultivator, he is kind by nature and has always been helping you. What right do you have to hurt him? But Bai Di let out a mocking sneer. A demonic cultivator, kind by nature? If demonic cultivators were truly good, how could my mother have died? I should have thought of it sooner. Ever since you appeared, the demonic cultivator who killed my mother also appeared. You're definitely related to the demonic cultivator who killed my mother, aren't you? But just then, Xiao Yu suddenly shouted, "Stop. Your mother was actually killed by you." Hearing this, Bai Di was instantly stunned. Then she shouted, "Impossible. I watched my mother get killed by a demonic cultivator. You must be trying to deceive me with words." But Xiao Yu directly revealed the truth that I'm not lying. To be precise, that it was the inner demon that emerged when you were breaking through a realm that killed your mother. Seeing that Bai Di didn't believe her, Xiao Yu angrily cursed, "I'm not lying to you. Cultivators have a chance of producing an inner demon when breaking through. And the stronger the talent, the greater the possibility of producing an inner demon. When you were young, your obsession with breaking through must have been too strong, which led to the appearance of the inner demon that killed your mother. The so-called irreconcilable conflict between the righteous and demonic paths lies in the attitude towards handling inner demons. Demonic cultivators choose to control their inner demons. That while the righteous path is to slay the inner demon. What's wrong has never been the cultivation method, but the person themselves. Seeing that Bai Di was completely stunned, Wu Lingjin quickly asked with concern, "Bai Di, are you okay?" But Bai Di gritted her teeth and said, "I can't defeat you, and I don't know if what you're saying is true. At the very least, I don't want to die at the hands of a demonic cultivator. I'm sorry, mother. I don't know if this counts as avenging you." After speaking, Bai Di suddenly exerted force with her hand. Instantly, blood suddenly splattered. In order to persuade the girl to calm down, the boy Dot actually broke her precious spirit sword right in front of her. Just now, after learning that she might be the culprit behind her mother's death, Bai Di resolutely chose to take her own life. But it turned out she was fine. She immediately shouted, "Wu Lingjin, let go. Are you going to toy with me even when I'm trying to die?" But Wu Lingjin said firmly, "I'm not trying to toy with you. I just want to tell you, whether righteous or demonic, regardless of identity, you only have one life. Even if life isn't what you wish for. But striving to make it better is the meaning of our existence." Xiao Yu also suddenly spoke up at this moment, and you should have noticed, right? It was only after Sima you appeared that your inner demon became uncontrollable. Instead of blaming yourself and giving up on life, you should find the culprit who caused all this and make him pay the price he deserves. Hearing this, Bai Di immediately gritted her teeth. "Sweet talk. You are demonic cultivators. Can I really trust you?" But Xiao Yu said irritably, "Look at Ling Jian. Does he look like the type to scheme and plot?" Hearing this, Bai Di immediately nodded. Indeed, his brain is very slow. His behavior is also very abnormal, and whatever he wants to do always backfires. However, maybe it's because of your foolish appearance that I can't bring myself to blame you for everything. But in my eyes, you're still not a good person. You bent the sword my father gave me. Do you know how expensive this spirit sword is? Hearing this, Wu Lingjin immediately used both hands, wanting to restore the spirit sword. Now Bai Di was dumbfounded. Can this sword be fixed directly by hand? But it turned out Bai Di found that she couldn't retract her sword at all, because Wu Lingjin had used too much force just now, causing the spirit sword to become longer. Bai Di had to sigh and speak again. "Speaking of which, you're clearly a demonic cultivator. Why did you have the guts to enter Xian Tian Academy? Aren't you afraid of your identity being discovered and then being killed?" But Wu Lingjin said seriously, "How could I not be afraid? But my dad and all my uncles have been sealed. I must have a tribulation transcendent stage cultivation to save them. But I don't have a spiritual root, which is why I want to complete the headmaster's mission and obtain more cultivation resources." But Bai Di directly pointed out the key issue. Even with endless cultivation resources, you can't reach the tribulation transcendent stage without a spiritual root. Spiritual roots are innate. Even someone like me, with a supreme grade sword spiritual root, can't say when I'll be able to step into the tribulation transcendent stage. It's out of the question for someone without a spiritual root. Wu Lingjin was instantly filled with despair. Yes, there really no way for me to save my father and the others? But Xiao Yu suddenly suggested, "Since we all know each other's secrets, I have an idea that could be the best of both worlds. Brother Lingjin, you want to rely on the strength of the tribulation transcendent stage to break the seal, right? Stinky girl, you want to improve your strength and then avenge your mother, right? In that case, as long as Brother Lingjin continuously provides Bai Di with the resources needed for cultivation to help her break through quickly, once Bai Di reaches the tribulation transcendent stage, she can help Brother Ling Jin break the barrier. Wouldn't that be perfect? Hearing this proposal, Wu Lingen's spirits were instantly lifted. Xiao Yu, are you a genius? Bai Di, what do you think of this idea? Bai Di immediately coughed lightly and nodded. This young lady will reluctantly trust you this one time. Just then, a rumbling sound suddenly came from the top of the ceiling pyramid. It turned out that Liang Zifeng had run out of spiritual energy and couldn't hold on any longer. The scene changes. Xian Tian Academy. Instructor Mei suddenly burst into Yu Qianxing's office with a panicked expression. The demonic cultivators have now captured the mining area. The leader is still Sima Yu. They attacked while we were short-staffed. The disciples guarding the mining area have been completely wiped out. As soon as these words were spoken, Yu Qianxing was instantly alarmed. Why now of all times? If something happens to the girl from Sword Spirit Peak, that sword fanatic will definitely come looking for trouble. This is no longer an ordinary demonic cultivator disturbance. We must strike hard. He then activated a long-distance communication formation and said in a serious tone, I'm going to use a mass teleportation formation. Sima Yu has already begun to encroach on the assets of the Righteous Path Alliance. If we don't act in unison, the situation will just develop like it did tens of thousands of years ago. So, I have a plan here. A complete formation takes a long time to set up. And the consumption is huge. So, let's use one that reduces resources and time. First, send a portion of the outstanding disciples below the nascent soul stage. Teleport over to save the day. Everyone was instantly confused. For a spirit mine, it's not worth us risking our lives like this, is it? Yu Qianxing could only sigh helplessly. The sword maniac's daughter is also in that spirit mine. If anything happens to her, there's no telling what the sword maniac might do. As soon as he said this, everyone expressed their intention to immediately send their best disciples to the battlefield. Only then did Yu Qianxing nod and speak again. I know you all still have doubts, but to prove the determination of my Xian Tian Academy to eliminate the demonic cultivators, manga recap, I will send my own grandson, Yu Jiaxue, to teleport over and provide support. The boy, in order to win over the goddess for his harem, actually chose to confront the demonic cultivator army. Just now, Yu Qianxing announced he would send his grandson to the spirit mine to carry out a rescue. But Yu Jiaxue was completely unaware of this. He came into the office and plopped right down into a seat. Although very dissatisfied with Yu Jiaxue's attitude, Yu Qianxing began to lament tearfully. The future of the entire cultivation world rests on your shoulders. But Yu Jiaxue refused outright. That old trick of yours. Do you really think I'm still a child? Ever since I can remember, I've spent every day living in these stories of yours, filled with lies. Back then, the thing I wanted to do most each day was to cultivate diligently, hoping I could help you maintain peace in the cultivation world. However, my constant efforts were exchanged for the news of my father's death. I don't need any power from the Righteous Alliance. All I wanted was my father. I'm not as great as you and father. I don't want to sacrifice my life for the cultivation world. Seeing that the soft approach wasn't working, Yu Qianxing went straight to the hard approach. No matter what you think, you have the blood of the Yu family in your veins. You must shoulder this responsibility. Meanwhile, Xiao Huahua didn't expect Wu Lingjin to actually be living with Bai Di. He absolutely could not let his destined female lead live with a nobody. He resolutely decided to use his medals to exchange for the right to live with Bai Di. But when he arrived at the headmaster's office, he found instructor Mei unexpectedly standing outside. He had just stepped inside when he heard Yu Qianxing shout, Our Yu family must become a model for the righteous path. You must complete this mission to crusade against the demonic cultivators and protect Bai Di well. Grandpa wants you to return safely more than anyone. At the same time, above the Spirit Stone mining area occupied by demonic cultivators, a portal suddenly appeared, and Xiao Huahua, who fell out of it, was instantly dumbfounded. Why is the landing point of this teleportation formation in the sky? But Yu Jiaxue was very calm and used earth control to form chariot. He successfully created a landing spot, but he didn't catch Xiao Huahua. But before he could get angry, he discovered that the area in front of him was densely packed with demonic cultivators. He immediately wanted to turn and flee. But Yu Jiaxue spoke directly. Don't you like Bai Di? She's in this spirit mine right now. If we don't go save her, she might be killed by the demonic cultivators. Hearing this, Xiao Huahua immediately changed his mind. He felt that as long as he played the hero, saving the damsel here, Bai Di would surely leave the darkness for the light and choose to become part of his harem. Meanwhile, Bai Di, who was being thought of, suddenly sneezed. Wu Lingjin immediately asked if she was all right. At that moment, Bai Di muttered to herself, "He's been helping me all this time without any complaints or regrets. Could it be that he's interested in me?" But Wu Lingjin urged, "If you're okay, let's get out quickly. This stuff is heavy." After Bai Di got out, he threw off all the rocks above his head. After some twists and turns, the two of them finally escaped. Seeing that it was already daylight, Xiao Yu spoke up. "After a whole night of trouble, we have to get back on the road." Liang Zifeng was very confused as to why demonic cultivators had infiltrated. Bai Di was about to explain, but Wu Lingjin covered her mouth. Then he said it was all the doing of that masked demonic cultivator. After speaking, he quickly reminded her in a low voice, "Your inner demon won't appear again in the future. Don't mention its connection to you anymore." Bai Di instantly broke into a smile. "You seem a little better than I imagined." Wu Lingjin quickly changed the subject. "It's already daylight. If you want to rest, do it in the carriage." He was now full of confidence. As long as he could get more cultivation resources for Bai Di, he could rescue his father and the others even faster. But just as they were about to leave, the innkeeper suddenly blocked their path. "If you want to leave, you'll have to compensate me for my end first." The prodigies of Xian Tian Academy were tragically besieged by demonic cultivators. But unexpectedly, two powerful reinforcements dropped from the sky. Just now, Wu Lingjin had finally dealt with Bai Di's inner demon. He was about to leave, but was stopped by the innkeeper, who demanded compensation for the inn. Helpless, Wu Lingjin had no choice but to try and restore it. But unexpectedly, he was met with a flying kick from the innkeeper. Just as Wu Lingjin was at his wit's end, Liang Zifeng suddenly stepped forward. He was seen using the great earth with divine art, turn earth into house on the ruins. A brand new, magnificent, and instantly rose from the ground. This time, the innkeeper was finally satisfied and let them leave, seeing that it suddenly started to rain. Liang Zifeng quickly urged everyone to hurry up and get on the road. But the group's carriage hadn't gone far when they saw the innkeeper chasing after them furiously with a group of people, and they were frantically throwing weapons at them. It turned out the inn created by the great earth with divine art had been completely melted by the rain. But in order to complete the mission sooner, Wu Lingjin chose to just make the carriage bolt, leaving behind only one sentence: "We'll pay you back later." At the same time, in the outer layer of the Spirit Stone mining area, Xiao Huahua and the other person were already surrounded by demonic cultivators. Although they had already killed countless demonic cultivators, they were still at a disadvantage. Xiao Huahua had no choice but to continue channeling his Xin Qi to fight head-on. He was no longer calm at this point. Having killed so many demonic cultivators as nourishment, Elder Dan should be able to wake up now, right? But unexpectedly, Elder Dan told him not to disturb him, and the demonic cultivators clearly had no intention of giving them a chance to breathe. Xiao Huahua was already extremely annoyed just by dealing with them. He immediately said in frustration, "Aren't you the headmaster's grandson? Hurry up and get your grandpa to send reinforcements." But Yu Joshua said indifferently, "He won't care about me, just like with my father back then." At this, Xiao Huahua completely broke down. How could a son of destiny like me die in a place like this? The son of destiny cannot perish here. I'll be leaving first. I'll leave these small fries for you to handle. When I achieve ascension, I will definitely come to commemorate you." Seeing this, Yu Joshua was immediately stunned. "You're running in the wrong direction. That's the deeper level of the mind pit." Yu Joshua knew that earth element spells couldn't cause direct damage. At a time like this, could it be that I can only save myself using the method I hate the most? But just then, a heavenly thunderbolt suddenly descended from the sky, striking a demonic cultivator. Yu Joshua immediately looked up and saw two figures emerging from the portal that had appeared in the air. The newcomers were a man and a woman, respectively Tian Sec's direct disciple Xian Mingling, and the favored daughter of the Ingenuity Pavilion, Huang Changqing. Seeing Xian Mingling introduce himself in a very showy manner. But Yu Joshua said he had never heard of this person. Hearing this, Xian Mingling immediately descended from the sky and said arrogantly, "It seems I need to make you remember me properly." He very deftly pulled a talisman from his body. Then he casually tossed it into midair. The talisman then exploded violently, turning into a shower of arrows. Seeing the arrow rain frantically bombarding the demonic cultivators, Xian Mingling immediately said smugly, "Remember this well. This is my great power." Xiao Huahua once again borrowed Elder Dan's power, stunning all the prodigies on the spot. Just now, the reinforcements sent by the Righteous Alliance finally arrived at the occupied spirit mine. Xian Mingling, with just a slight move, easily annihilated a large group of demonic cultivators. Even Yu Jiaxue was shocked by his formidable strength. When Xian Mingling thought of the mission, he immediately asked, "We received instructions from the Righteous Alliance this time, saying that demonic cultivators were causing trouble here and had also kidnapped the sword fanatic's daughter." Hearing this, Yu Jiaxue immediately pointed to the cave nearby. "Yes, my companion has already gone in ahead. If you want to help, you can follow him. I was just forced to come here by the old man. There's no need for me to complete the mission." Xian Mingling immediately patted his shoulder. "I've long heard that the grandson of the Xian Tian Academy's headmaster is a coward who clings to life, unable to shoulder the family's heavy burden. Seeing you today, the rumors are indeed true." But Yu Jiaxue simply ignored him and said, "Whatever you want to do is your business. I just want to live a good life. With you guys here, there shouldn't be any problems. See ya." Just as Yu Jiaxue left, another portal appeared in midair. At the same time, Xiao Huahua, who had intended to flee for his life, was running wildly inside the cave. But unexpectedly, Elder Dan's spiritual form suddenly appeared. But before Xiao Huahua could be happy, a large group of demonic cultivators suddenly appeared all around. And without exception, they were all burly figures. Having just escaped the siege, he was immediately in trouble again. Seeing this, Elder Dan was puzzled. So many demonic cultivators. Can you really handle them, kid? But Xiao Huahua was stubborn. "Don't underestimate the son of destiny." But who would have thought he was no match for this group of demonic cultivators at all? Seeing this, Elder Dan muttered to himself, "If this kid dies, it'll be hard to find another vessel this stupid." Seeing that Xiao Huahua was definitely going to die here if this continued, Elder Dan had no choice but to say helplessly, "You brat, I'll help you one last time." The moment Elder Dan's energy poured into his body, Xiao Huahua immediately erupted with terrifying flames. This power, comparable to the nascent soul stage, made him feel incredibly refreshed. But Elder Dan urged, "If you don't finish off these demonic cultivators quickly, I won't be able to hold on." As soon as he finished speaking, Xiao Huahua immediately launched a full-force counterattack. The commotion they caused instantly caught Yu Jiaxue's attention. However, he had no intention of going back to help. But just then, a carriage suddenly rushed over and sent him flying at extremely high speed. It turned out to be the work of Wu Lingjin, who was in a hurry to complete his mission. With Xiaoyu's reminder, he finally remembered that this person was actually Yu Jiaxue. But Wu Lingjin didn't know why he was here. Wu Lingjin quickly helped him up, planning to take him into the mining area first before deciding what to do. But unexpectedly, a deafening roar erupted from the mining area again. Seeing this, Wu Lingjin became anxious. It seems like there was an explosion in the mining area. Something bad couldn't have happened, right? Bai Di then explained, "It's probably the blasting spells used during mining. My dad does this too when he's opening a spirit mine." At the same time, Xian Mingling looked at the newly arrived reinforcements with great surprise. "I didn't expect that the ones coming here to rescue would be you. Pan Hong of the Beast Taming Manor and Huiju of the Zongheng Dynasty." Huiju recognized Huang Chengcheng of the Ingenuity Pavilion at a glance. But he didn't recognize Xian Mingling at all. Just as a furious Xian Mingling was about to show off his power again, a surging tide of scorching flames suddenly erupted from underground, sweeping up a huge number of demonic cultivators with it. At the same time, Elder Dan urged anxiously, "Hurry up. My spiritual power can barely sustain the possession." Hearing this, Xiao Huahua immediately began to activate the strange fire within his body, then unleashed his strongest killing move, 5 elements in one, Primordial Unity Chi. The power of this move was terrifyingly immense. It directly annihilated countless demonic cultivators. Huang Chengcheng was stunned and couldn't help but let out a cry of alarm. What powerful might! Who is this person? This boy unexpectedly discovered that besides spirit stones, there were no demonic cultivators in the mind vein at all. Little did he know that someone was already bearing the burden for him in the depths. Just now, Xiao Huahua had used his most powerful ultimate move, Primordial Unity Chi, burning all the demonic cultivators before him. He thought that all the demonic cultivators had been annihilated, but unexpectedly, the demonic cultivators suddenly sprouted from the ground. It turned out that when Elder Dan saved him, his spiritual energy was almost depleted, making it impossible to completely wipe out the demonic cultivators before him. Seeing the demonic cultivators charge again, Xiao Huahua no longer had the spiritual energy to resist. But unexpectedly, a flying sword spirit talisman formation descended from the sky and saved him. It turned out that Xian Mingling had intervened in time to save him. Although Xiao Huahua didn't know who these four people were, it seemed they were also here to deal with the demonic cultivators. Right now, he no longer had the ability to fight. It would be better to fish in troubled waters among them. Later, I'll take advantage of the chaos to rescue Bai Di. This way, she will surely promise herself to me. Having made up his mind, he jumped directly into the mine pit. There's still many demonic cultivators hidden deep in this mine vein. I'll lead the way for you. Meanwhile, Wu Ling Jin and the others also walked in at this moment. Bai Di immediately noticed signs of a battle nearby. Soon, the group arrived near the fissure of the mine pit, and Yu Jiaxue finally woke up. He was instantly shocked. How did I end up back here? Don't you people know this place has already been captured by demonic cultivators? Even Bai Di has been taken hostage. At this, Bai Di was completely bewildered. When was I taken hostage? Wu Ling Jin also pointed around and said, and there are no demonic cultivators here either. Xiao Yu then urged, Brother Ling Jin, stop chatting. There are still a lot of spirit stones here. Let's hurry up and collect them. Even Yu Jiaxue was dumbfounded. Why are there still so many spirit stones here? Something's not right. This place should have been captured by demonic cultivators long ago. Could it be that I'm hallucinating? Then Wu Ling Jin suddenly spoke. The headmaster sent you here, probably to collect from the spirit mine too, right? The number of spirit stones here is beyond imagination. If you want some, we can just give you a share. Yu Jiaxue's heart was filled with doubt. Where on earth did those demonic cultivators go? Could it be that those guys from the Righteous Alliance have already dealt with them? At the same time, Xian Mingling and the others were engaged in a fierce battle with demonic cultivators deep within the mining area. He continuously used his strongest talismans. Pan Hong of the Beast Taming Manor, commanding the giant wolf beneath her, also began a slaughter. The roaming dragon spear of Huiju from the Zongheng dynasty was incredibly swift. The demonic cultivators couldn't withstand it at all. Even the death mechanical chainsaw / used by Huang Chengcheng of the Ingenuity Pavilion was astonishingly powerful. In just a moment, the group worked together to annihilate a large swarm of demonic cultivators. Xiao Huahua also didn't expect these people to be so powerful. However, with their cover, he could definitely rescue Bai Di. Just as everyone was preparing to go deeper, a purple light suddenly flared up under Xiao Huahua's feet. Then, a mysterious formation abruptly appeared. Then, a disdainful sneer was heard. I thought the Righteous Alliance would send some formidable figures. Turns out it's just you little fish and shrimp. Hearing this, Xian Mingling was instantly enraged. He raised his hand and threw out a myriad evil suppression talisman. But Sima Yu sneered. Although you're all just little golden core stage cultivators, your abilities have exceeded my expectations. In that case, I'll just use you as sacrifices. As soon as the words fell, the formation on the ground instantly burst with an incredibly blinding purple light. At the same time, Wu Ling's group had already loaded up on spirit stones. Seeing Wu Ling Jin preparing to leave, Yu Jiaxue was dumbfounded. Is it really over just like that? Have all the demonic cultivators disappeared? But unexpectedly, a series of rumbling sounds suddenly came from the mining area. Wu Ling Jin and the others had no idea what was happening. Yu Jiaxue instantly noticed something was wrong. Quick, look at the ground. This mine is a trap.